Hey you look like you're in need of a vacation.
A Friday Island vacation where you get to hear about the things you enjoy.
Here we talk about everyone's favorite movies, TV shows, video games, and more. We keep things pretty laid back here, but we also do our research.
We've got trivia, questions about plot holes, some hilariously bad reviews, and more. New episodes go up every Friday, obviously.
So come on and join Neil and I over on Friday Island Podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
We'll see you there.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone proved to be a massive cultural phenomenon, which was expected. So much so that production on the second film began just 3 days after the release of the first. Once again directed by Chris Columbus, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets added several new characters to the mix, including the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher Gilderoy Lockhart, played by Kenneth Branagh, and Draco Malfoy's sinister father Lucius, played by Jason Isaacs. This would end up being the last time that Richard Harris played the role of Dumbledore, due to his passing shortly before the release of this film. The Chamber of Secrets also went on to be a massive hit, making $879 million worldwide and breaking virtually every record that the previous film had set. The kids are a bit older and the tone is a bit darker, and with this being the longest film in the series, you can bet that we have a lot to say about it. Joining us for the second part of our magical journey is special guest and friend of the pod, Shela Maung. So come along with Harris, Colin, and I as we take a flying car to our next film adventure. We watched the 2002 magical family classic, Chris Columbus's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is a show about franchises, wizarding movie franchises. You're listening to License to Watch.
Why in the world was this movie made?
Are you aware that the look of Dobby's face was created to be like in the likeness of Vladimir Putin?
Really? I did not know that, and you could be lying, but now that you say it, I totally see it.
No, I'm not lying.
Very much see it.
Whoever designed him was like, oh, I'm going to make him look like Putin. And, they gave him a longer nose and bigger ears.
Yeah, I mean, the nose isn't even that long. The ears are really what's throwing me off. But
if you don't look at the ears,
Yep.
It's Putin combined with Smeagol.
Yeah. And Smeagol was like unveiled in the Two Towers, which came out the same year as this movie.
Oh. Right. Which also has the spider, right? Or is the spider in the second one? Or the third one, I mean.
Oh, I think the spiders are in the third.
I remember
third one.
I remember many a discussion in this era about this spider versus that spider and what came out on top in spite of it all.
Because
Spider-Man.
Lord of the Rings, the first one, Fellowship, and the first Harry Potter movie both had the giant in the bathroom. What's that called? It's not called a giant.
Troll.
A troll. That's it.
Right,
yeah.
a troll.
Yeah, so there's a lot of similarities.
And we're not even going to bring up Wild Wild West spider because that was earlier.
That's a little bit different. Because
and that was a
is
mechanical spider?
Yes.
Yeah, but also Kenneth Branagh.
Wait, Kenneth Branagh? Oh, is he Dr. Lovelace?
He is.
Wow. Kenneth Branagh's a genius. He's a fucking genius.
Is there anything the man can't do?
Out there somewhere, he's like, oh, someone called me a genius? What did they see? Wild, Wild West.
Wild, Wild West. They're talking about you and the giant fucking spider. Which one?
Guys, I don't think we're allowed to talk about Wild, Wild West anymore.
Oh, yeah, we'll get slapped.
Yeah.
No, not if we keep it positive.
Oh,
it's
right.
about love, Colin.
Right.
Don't make me resort to violence.
No, I meant we get slapped by Kevin Kline.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got bad memories.
So here we are. Welcome to License to Watch. The movie, of course, that we're discussing today is the second movie in the Harry Potter franchise, which is called Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which is the same name as the book that it is based on. This movie is also directed by Chris Columbus, who directed the first movie, the guy who discovered America, and
Home Alone.
And Home Alone.
Discovered America and Home Alone.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on in this movie. I right away liked this one better than the last one. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Sort of giving away the whole show. I guess you guys can skip to the end because Matt just took it all and just...
Something about them being further into puberty makes me more comfortable, actually, watching them.
I think they're just more used to being on film, maybe. maybe that's it, you know?
It's hormonal.
I don't know. I listen, I've only seen the covers of all these movies. I think I watched the following one after this, and that's the last one I saw. But just watching the covers, this is the last one where they're cute. They get really, speaking of like pubescence, the next movie they look kind of funky, and it's a while before they get their adult faces. So this is like the last movie where they're kind of cute kids.
So are they're not cute adults, including Emma? Is that what you're saying?
No. Then they become attractive and hunky.
Oh, gotcha. We don't use cute for...
Yeah, we don't use cute for...
maturity. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. They're like cute little kids in this still, kind of.
I'd like to think somewhere out there's people who think of me as a cute man.
Yeah, I mean, there probably are.
Like, I'm sure your mom probably thinks that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Colin. I'm actually not sure there's anything like that out there.
Harris, was it you at the last episode who said that Daniel Radcliffe is a bad actor, or was that Jarrell?
I wouldn't disagree with it, so it might have been me. I didn't know. Listen, I think Daniel Radcliffe has become a good actor. I thought he was, pretty mediocre in the first one. I actually think he's a little worse in this one.
I think so too. I noticed, I kind of was watching him with a more keen eye this time, and like, I don't know if it's that he's a bad actor, but he makes weird facial choices. Mm-hmm. He's always doing weird things with his mouth, and I'll point it out as it happens. But
yeah, it's almost like it's reactions. He's trying to portray a reaction of excitement or wonder or surprise or happiness, but it's always it feels very forced and very manufactured. Like he doesn't know what, somebody described what happiness looks like, and he's trying to emulate it without having ever seen it.
I would say I agree, but I would say in some scenes it looks like trying too hard, and in other scenes it looks like he does not want to be there.
Well, some of it, he was a child actor even before the Harry Potter series, so I feel like some of it is how many real-world experiences could this little boy have before he became Harry Potter?
True. Yeah, that's so funny that you say that, because, Shela Maung, everybody, joining us for this episode, our friend of the pod, Shela Maung. How are you, Sheila?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How was your day today?
It was busy. A little stressful.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about that.
So Sheila, you're pretty experienced with these Harry Potter, with this world. Have you read the books, seen all the movies? What's your story here?
Yeah, so I've read all of the books.
Did you read them as they were coming out?
As they were coming out, I read them the first night they came out. I think I was about maybe 10 when the books came out, and Harry was 11 at that timeline.
So you were along for the ride.
I was along for the ride.
Age,
yeah. So it's really, Harry's story is my story. We both grew up in a cupboard under the stairs. And,
in Surrey.
A small English boy.
Who is your Voldemort?
Who's my Voldemort?
Yeah.
Oh, Margaret Thatcher.
Okay.
I really.
But she hasn't tried to kill you that many times.
No, she's thankfully dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to what I was saying, I had that thought today of I wonder how many movies or TV shows or whatever that these kids have done before this series, or were they plucked out of obscurity? And so you're saying that Daniel Radcliffe did stuff before Harry Potter?
I'm pretty sure he's done stuff before Harry Potter. He's been a child actor even before he was a child actor. Even smaller child actor.
Isn't it a stage name because he was in Cliffhanger and he was that kid who looked at one of the cliffs and said, "Wow, that's a real rad cliff."
He
wasn't even he wasn't even
yet.
His parents were children when that movie came out.
I want to say his parents are actors. I could be very wrong.
There's a producer on this named Mark Radcliffe, and I looked it up to see if that was his dad or something, and it's just total no relation. It's just a coincidence.
I think Fiona Shaw is not really related to me.
Oh man.
Yes, and not all last names are connected. I think that also, even if whether he was or wasn't a child actor, these movies are they feel child actor-y. like in that's what you're going for. You're kind of, you got this like ET thing. It's all like about the enchantment of this new world that he's being exposed to. And I think that there's like, you have to evolve past that a little bit. I think it's impressive that he has managed to go from, I think in this series, went from being a child actor where you're just sort of told how to react and what facial expressions to make, and you're kind of aping what the director thinks you should do, to being an actual actor that can sort of disappear into a role a little more.
Yeah. I also love her outfit here. Like, you know, they're poor, so they have to crochet everything. And, you know, it's late 90s. So that's, of course, what people wear.
Right.
Yeah. The sleeves are crocheted, but the middle is not.
It's a very confusing piece.
Well, that's because the sleeves got worn out and they had to be replaced. But
or maybe it didn't have sleeves, but it's too cold there.
Oh, there you go. Maybe the sleeves are removable.
Yeah.
I did read that this movie, this movie is supposed to take place in 1992 or 93. Did they ever establish that? I read this on IMDb.
No. I can never tell, like, because when they're in, like, the real world, it seems kind of old-timey, like, not the 90s. It seems like it's older than that, although they seem to have a lot of modern technology.
Yeah, and the wizard world seems like it's, like, you know, like, turn of the century.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think that's deliberate, right? Like,
Yeah.
I keep finding myself thinking, like, half the mysteries in these movies would be solved if they just had security cameras in the castle.
Right.
You know?
They've got all those paintings, but they're not watching.
Or the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always like, someone was in the hallway. Someone did something to Filch's cat. Yeah, well, let's just check the footage, the security footage, and we'll find out.
The Chamber of Secrets has, like, the backup servers.
The secrets are just like the websites that everyone checks out.
That's where all of McGonagall's emails are.
McGonagall's emails.
McGonagall's emails. Lock her up.
Lock her up. Find the laptop.
I also love Julie Waters, who plays Mrs. Weasley, is an amazing actress, but it's just so funny to see all these wonderful British actors being these these characters that are kind of, I don't want to say beneath them, but just like very like goofy and broad and just
underused too. None of them have a big role in these things.
The owl that runs into stuff. Hilarious.
I dig that. Yeah,
like that's but that's such like a kids movie joke of like, hey, we're gonna have this repeating thing where the owl crashes into things and we're gonna call it back at the end.
Yeah, like doesn't that, when they call it back in the end, like doesn't that mean that like Hagrid was, you know, a victim of more prison brutality for
pretty much.
He was gang raped like 8 more times.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
I mean, it was an element in the book that Errol was a bad owl. I mean, I don't know why they sent him out. I guess because they're poor. That's.
Well, what I thought was funny too is they have this moment here where they're talking about going to whatever Diagon Alley.
Diagonally.
Diagonally. I thought he was just going to go diagonally, like it'd be like upstairs in a different room. But they go to Diagon Alley and they're like, "Oh, the book's going to be really expensive this year." And what's her name is like, "Oh, we'll find a way to manage somehow. We always do." Meanwhile, Harry Potter's sitting on his mountain of gold. He doesn't offer to help them out, even though they're taking him in, rescuing him from his evil family. He's like, "Yeah, I hope you guys have good luck.
That's so crazy.
Affording your fucking textbooks. I'm thinking about getting a new broom."
Yeah, like what happened to the bank with all the little? What were those guys? Because there's elves,
they're
there's
goblins.
trolls, those are goblins. Okay, yeah. What happened to the goblin bank? And why
it's still there?
Why doesn't Harry share?
Also, like in the magic world, like can't you like turn rocks into money or something? Like can't you turn something like
the Philosopher's Stone?
Yeah.
Or Sorcerer's Stone.
That was what the whole first movie was about, man. You didn't catch that?
But it's really important that they're poor, right? Because we're building the part of the world where there's like racism and classicism going on. So we need to see that like the wizards who are all come from wizards and like they only fuck other wizards and reproduce other wizards. They hate, you know, anything else, especially like being poor or like reproducing with a non-wizard type.
Yeah. But you know, that's,
you know, Harris, you brought up a good point. I for some reason with these movies, like I watched the entire movie and then like a day or two later, like I completely forget the plot. Like the first one is like a distant memory for me at this point. Like you're like, don't you remember what happens? I'm like, no, I don't.
I think it's because like they're usually based around one mystery, and they take a really long time to solve it. You know what I mean? Like, what is the Chamber of Secrets? Where is it at? And what's in there?
To be fair, they are 12 and 11-year-olds solving
Yeah, it takes
mysteries
them a long time to figure
for
out.
adults.
Well,
they all
why
connect
don't
together later in the last movie/book, but
Yeah, why don't the adults that like actually, have something at stake in all of this?
Yeah,
do
exactly.
something?
Well, that's why I always feel like Dumbledore sort of coasts on this idea that Harry Potter's going to save the day. It's like, hey, aren't you a powerful wizard who's supposed to know everything? Why don't you take over?
supposed to
a
be
little
the most powerful wizard
Yeah,
in
'cause
all of wisdom.
What is this,
wizardom.
Crackhead Alley? I don't understand where they are.
I said Diagon Alley, not Crackhead Alley.
Nocturne Alley.
Yeah, the magical Nocturne Alley. Get it?
Yeah.
It's the magical equivalent of an alley where there's
You'll get jumped.
maybe
Yeah.
not crack per se.
Wizard crack. What is wizard crack?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's
We
equivalent.
need to ask JK.
Mm.
Go to one of those panels. Does she
Yeah.
ever have
No, you
panels
just ask her
anymore?
on Twitter. She'll
Oh, right.
answer anything.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, JK, what is the wizarding world?
Is that true?
equivalent
Is she
of
active on
crack?
Twitter?
She's very active on Twitter. She also hates trans people.
Yes.
So that's cool. And by that, I don't actually mean that's cool.
That's not very cool.
No, but she is very active on Twitter. So that's where she was like, people asked her, like, what happens when, in the olden days when wizards used to poop? They used to just make it disappear. Before there was toilets, they just made it disappear. She will answer literally anything on Twitter.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
kind of feel like we should ask her something on Twitter sometime.
We should see if she would do this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised we went through the whole first episode and didn't mention that J.K. Rowling is a TERF.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I would like to just appreciate the work of art for its own, because honestly, she wrote the books. She didn't. I don't know. I feel like a lot of other people participated in making this movie, and we should appreciate all the things that they did well without letting J.K. Rowling taint them. Although they did make the goblins look very Jewish, which
Yeah.
I felt like that was sort of an art direction choice they could have avoided, but
I think that's one of the things is like it's supposed. It's like one of the things like when they described like goblins and stuff. It's like based off of Jewish people or like what
so
is
in
it?
staying true to the book, they
Or like in the have you guys seen or watched the Witches by Ronald Dahl?
Mm-hmm.
Those are also based off Jewish people or like stereotypes of Jewish people, not actual Jewish people. So it's like, ooh.
or like in The Princess Bride, isn't Billy Crystal like? Isn't he like?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Billy Crystal is Jewish. Though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
but he's like doing a stereotype.
He's definitely doing a
But it's okay for him to do it.
Yeah, but
Don't you know the rules?
but that's also like a wizard character in the
Yeah.
in the movie.
Oh, so you're saying Jews are wizards?
No, I'm not saying that.
that is what
Okay.
he's saying.
I feel like you're on record as saying that.
If you look carefully, there's copies of the book that this movie is based on, like in the background in the scene.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Kenneth Branagh might actually be like this in real life.
Yeah, that's possible.
Well, he's been
Academy
You know-
Award winner, Kenneth.
Oh, excuse me, Academy Award winner.
But he's been, famous for a long time, and he started out doing. I don't know what he started out doing, but he first got famous with his Shakespearean adaptations
Yeah.
Mhm.
onto film of Shakespeare plays, which is there's kind of a parallel there where like he's not Shakespeare, but he's famous for knowing Shakespeare really well. So and then this guy is like. He didn't do all the wizard stuff that he says he did, but he did write the stories or whatever.
You heard it here first, folks. Kenneth Branagh, fraud. according to Colin Shaw.
It's so easy to twist my words into like
Because they're
saying
so
really
close.
horrible
Because they're so close to horrible all the time.
Did Kenneth Branagh direct the Frankenstein movie with Robert De Niro? I know he's in that movie.
I don't know.
I want to say yes. I know that I don't know if this is the movie, but he used to be married to Emma Thompson, and he cheated on her with Helena Bonham Carter.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I did not know that.
I
Is
would.
that
Is that what?
Emma Thompson is in Love Actually, and she gets
true.
kind of cheated on
Yes.
by Hans Gruber.
That's right.
Who's also in this
Who's
movie.
also in this
Oh
movie.
yeah. Actually, ends up in one of the later movies.
Yeah, she's in one of these, right? Isn't she like one of the teachers that they get?
She's one of the teachers.
Why doesn't Dumbledore teach any classes?
Hey, by the way, well, let's talk about a bigger problem with Dumbledore and Harry Potter and Hogwarts and everything else. Because you mentioned earlier, why aren't these adults, taking more of a stand and actually being part of the solution?
It also doesn't seem like It also doesn't seem like the kids learn anything.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They've got a teacher that's called the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher. That 2 movies in a row they have who is running human resources here? Is this Dumbledore? Because 2 movies in a row they have hired. It's arguably the most important position on the staff, and twice in a row he's hired. One time the bad guy pretending to be the good guy, and another time a complete buffoon who actually obviously to even the children couldn't get anything right and couldn't defend anybody against anything.
Also, you could also argue he's also kind of evil, maybe not directly to the children, but
he does have an evil turn at the end. He does bad things.
Guess what? I got rid of everybody's memories and pretended I did it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a scumbag. And Dumbledore does not see this. He's the only person in this movie that doesn't realize this guy's a fraud and is like, hey, come teach my most important position. Because the last guy I hired turned out to be an evil sorcerer.
Yeah, I get that. There's a theme there.
Did I say sorcerer?
Sorcerer.
Saucier, right? I realized about halfway through saying it that I say it wrong all the time. And,
But it's a theme, right? In this world, by not even being able to say the word Voldemort and not talking about how, there's bad wizards anymore, that has created a situation where they think they don't need to teach defense as much. But you're right about Dumbledore. He's clearly negligent.
He's just maybe not the best headmaster ever.
Mm-hmm. What is he doing all day?
He's like the Phoenix. He's like the principal. He's the principal.
You know what he's doing in there.
petting the Phoenix. Yeah. I'm glad they had this moment where the kids crash in the wall because the platform 9.5 isn't open.
9 3/4.
You know what? 3/4, whatever it is. I liked that. Because that's what I was hoping in the first movie. I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if they smashed in the wall? And this movie, we get to see it.
I just love that Ron's parents always ditch him. They yell at him, they forget him. But Harry, not a precious hair on Harry's head. But
Ron's the Kevin McAllister of this family.
Yeah, not to backtrack too far, but you know what the great thing about staying in your office and petting your Phoenix all day is? You never get burnout.
Except it dies and literally catches on fire.
We're in for it when Colin wants to go back.
Yeah, not to backtrack too far. That's true. That wasn't too far. Really it was farther than that was worth going back for, but it wasn't too far. Yeah.
Also,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like these movies are kind of, especially this one is an example of why women live longer. They're when they pulled off the bars off the windows, they're like, oh, we could unscrew it. No, we'll just pull it off with the car. Oh, instead of telling somebody, hey, our parents are going to come back eventually to lead us, whatever, we'll just take the car.
And try to catch the train.
They're
driving to Hogwarts anyways. Why do they need to catch the train? They could just follow the tracks.
And they're 2 12-year-old boys driving a car.
Wait, you're saying men need to be men and women need to be women, and you've been indoctrinated by?
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
No.
They just how fun. I mean,
okay. I have a question about this though. I get how they Ron keeps stealing the car. The car comes and finds them later. They never explain how the car knows to come and find them later?
Well, the car. Okay, so
is this something that's in the book and not in the movie?
In the book, as far as I know or remember, that the car had run off to the Forbidden Forest, so it kind of lived there. And then, so while that stuff was happening, it was like, oh, I know those guys.
Oh yeah, smelled them because it has a sense of smell because it's a car.
I don't know. It apparently has a mind of its own, but it also doesn't. It's very.
I kind of gathered all that, but I also was like, I feel like this could have used an explanation because this car right now is just a car that flies, but then when they get to Hogwarts, it becomes like a sentient creature.
Yeah.
After it gets attacked by a tree.
I think these movies have to have a certain amount of Deus Ex Machina stuff.
Yes.
Things that just come out of nowhere and save them. So there's the car, and then I think there was another instance of it.
I forgot the car was in the forest at all. I thought the car was just it just heard them from miles and miles away. And
yeah, I mean, Harry Potter, all his final fights with the Voldemort characters in these first two movies are like kind of a little Deus Ex Machina in that he doesn't really actively do so. Like in the first one, it's like his hands have a blessing.
It's a little
on them.
better in this one.
Yeah, it is. It is better in this one because then Dumbledore explains later. Well, the Phoenix would only come for you if you were sticking up for me.
Oh, the Phoenix. That's the other Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, exactly.
The funny part about that is I don't know if we should jump ahead to the end fight though.
Well, should we summarize the plot? As much as I don't think I'm going to do a good job.
There's a part in the end fight that makes me laugh out loud.
Well, let's save it for the end fight, but let's get to it. Who does the summary for this? It's not me. Oh yeah,
I suck at these, but whatever.
I do love this the type of car they chose for this car. It's like
it was apparently J.K. Rowling's like car that she had.
It's like kind of an ugly car, but kind of a styly car at the same time.
I think it's kind of cute, except the being alive part.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
When it runs into the woods, it reminds me of the were car from Futurama. Because it's like got a mind of its own.
All right, this car versus Christine. Who do you got?
Oh shit.
Oh, I got Christine. You know I got Christine. Wait, only Christine when she's got the angry face at the very end.
Wait, are they fighting or are they just like
racing?
Are you choosing?
Are they in love?
No, are you choosing one as your car or are you choosing them to fight?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
If you're choosing one as your car, then I'll take this one because it wouldn't murder me, I guess.
Yes. I guess not being murdered is cool.
Yeah, that's definitely a deal breaker for me for cars.
This is like another Phoenix situation. If you're loyal to Christine, she won't kill you.
Oh, that's true.
Right,
That's
if you
true.
let her
She's a little
possess
possessive.
and change you.
Yeah, exactly. She's a little possessive.
But change you for the better? Maybe.
All right, Matt, are you ready?
As ready as I can be.
Okay,
but
then.
I agree. I would rather drive this car, but I think Christine would win in a fight.
Important information. 1, 2, 3, go.
All right, Harry's living with the Dursleys. He hasn't heard from his friends all summer. He thinks they fucking hate him. Suddenly, Dobby shows up, and Dobby's like, hey, I'm a house elf, and I don't think you should go to school because you're in danger. And Harry's like, fuck you, I'm still going. And his friends show up in a flying car, and they free him from his home, and they take him to try to find the train. Why they couldn't just fly to Hogwarts, we don't know. But they get there somehow, and people start getting like frozen. And they petrified, yeah, and they're not sure like what's causing it. And then they find out about this thing called the Chamber of Secrets. And Hermione finds in the girls' bathroom there's like a ghost girl who died in that bathroom. She lives there in Moaning Myrtle. She cries all the time. She's pretty annoying. And so Hermione's barely in this one. She gets knocked out pretty early on, and the boys are trying to figure out where the Chamber of Secrets is while people are getting petrified every day. And they figure out that Hagrid has something to do with it. Oh, we meet Malfoy's dad, who's like an evil dude, and he hates Harry.
But he has great hair.
He has great hair. He's also the villain from The Patriot. Very good in that.
Oh, yeah.
And they eventually figure out where the Chamber of Secrets is. It's in the girls' bathroom. Moaning Myrtle is dead because she saw the basilisk, which is like this giant snake creature that if you look in its eyes, you will die. But all the people who got petrified conveniently didn't look at it. They looked at it through a reflection, and that's why they didn't die. Oh god, I got 20 seconds. So then Harry finds a book and he gets some flashbacks and he learns about this guy Tom Riddle who ends up being Voldemort, and that was his human self. And he meets him at the end as like a memory, but he's there in the room with him. Very odd. And he fights the basilisk. Dumbledore's Phoenix pecks the snake's eyes out, so Harry gains the upper hand. He stabs it, kills it. And saves Hermione, and everyone's good. I'm sure there's a lot of shit that I missed.
That was pretty good.
I mean, that was. I would say that's pretty good. Those are good plot points. Yeah.
Gist of it. He stabbed a book with a tooth.
Yes.
Yep.
There was an extended 15 minutes of denouement after the conflict is actually resolved.
Yes, I was like, oh, this movie needs
long.
to end.
It wasn't quite Lord of the Rings. Last Lord of the Rings long, but it was long.
In your summary, you did not mention Ginny Weasley at all, though. That's kind of a mistake.
I feel like the whole Ginny Weasley thing came out of nowhere for me. You know, it's like
she was actually doing all this stuff the whole time.
In the books, she's a lot more memorable. In the movies, they're like,
oh yeah, it was her the whole time.
We'll throw you in here. There you go, surprise.
You know what's funny? I, having not seen this and you're not being that familiar with this and not knowing that much about it and not knowing that she was going to play a big role, I noticed her right away because they make a big deal about, like, she didn't go to school with him in the first movie. So this is like her first year at Hogwarts. But they make a big deal about how she's got like a crush on Harry.
Thirst.
And she's
Thirst.
and she's like, you know, running off. And so they like kind of, I know they forget her a lot in the middle, but there's a lot of shots of her. You see her a lot in the backgrounds and some group scenes and stuff. She's always got her nose in a book or something. So they kind of set it up in weird ways where, like, at the end it made sense to me. And I kind of felt like they set her up enough for me. For at the end, I was like, oh yeah, that's why they were featuring her so prominently, because I noticed her in the beginning.
You know what it's got to be? She's a ginger, so therefore she's invisible to me. So maybe I just didn't see it.
You have that thing, that eye thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Ginger blindness.
Ginger blindness.
Wait, is there somebody next to Hermione? Yes or no?
Oh, what? Yeah, that fat kid.
There's nobody on either side of Hermione in that shot.
So wait, her name is Jenny with a G, right? Is that a common thing in?
It's Ginny.
Ginny.
Not Jenny. So it's like,
Yeah, like
Are you saying two different things?
oh yeah, you're
Like-
you're from the middle of the country.
like could be Genevieve or
Well, I actually have an Aunt Jenny. She's a Virginia.
Yeah,
Oh,
Virginia.
Okay, I get it. I thought it was like they like her parents got drunk on gin one
I know
night.
a
And
Ginny who's-
that's
No.
when she was conceived.
No, there's
know
like Jennifer
Oh,
Goodwin
okay.
is
Yeah.
actually
I was gonna
spelled
say,
Jennifer,
I know a Ginny
but
is
she
a
changed
Jennifer,
it so that people would respect the accent where she's from.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Who is that?
Jennifer Good. She have you seen Once Upon a Time?
Like not really.
She's in like one movie.
She's in a few movies. She
She's
was
been
on
in a lot of things.
She was on Ed with Justin Long. She was Justin Long's girlfriend on Ed.
She's in one
I
of
would
those
look it up
dating
right now, but
movies.
She was in Mona Lisa Smiles. She was like the fat friend in that one, even though she wasn't fat.
Something Borrowed, which I know you guys are all
wait,
a
wait,
huge
something
fan of.
borrowed? Is she the brown haired girl? Like,
Yeah, she's
that
got
gets
brown
with-
hair, yeah.
She's the one who has a crush on Jim from The Office in that.
I
Wait,
don't
is she
know.
the-
Maybe, yeah,
I
yeah,
can't believe this is the movie
yes.
that you are
actually,
really familiar
yes,
with.
you're correct. There's like a weird thing. Colin is correct.
The worst
Yeah.
movie that you could pick that she's in. I know who it is. Wait, so her name is Jenny with a G.
Jennifer, yeah, with the so it's spelled instead of JENNIEFR, it's GINN.
She went to BU with my friend Dan. I knew her back then.
You knew her?
Wow. This
mean
person
you-
that you literally did not know.
No, I
she
know
existed
exactly.
a minute
As
ago.
soon as you said something borrowed, I knew exactly who it was.
You mean you knew of her as you watched from the
Yeah.
corner of the room?
Yes.
Harris, do you want to join us? No, I'm good over here.
No, I'm good over here.
Yeah, this movie is like different enough from the first movie. I feel like they learned a lot of them, from their mistakes, and
The
improved.
filmmakers or the kids, the characters?
Both.
Both.
Okay.
I watched the first half of this with Maya, and her reaction to this was great.
This note thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought this note thing was pretty cool. Dobby probably, it feels a little dated, but I thought a lot of the VFX in this, compared to the first one where I thought the VFX were real crap, the VFX in this one, I thought
this
were...
looks like something from like the Microsoft Word, like
Clippy.
Clippy. Yeah.
It's like Clippy's nemesis is this letter, this screaming letter.
The VFX in this are totally reminiscent of this period of time to me. Like
But better than the first
mixture,
one.
Yeah, the mixture of the digital and the practical, how it's like very much mixed in, like even same scene but different shot. Like the coverage is a practical, but the shot of the thing is digital or something, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like the snake at the end.
It's very much. This is 2002, right? Like it's very much. I don't know. It just.
Yeah, considering this came immediately after the first. I mean, they were in production on this, I think, a few days after the first one premiered.
Yeah.
And, like, I just thought the VFX were, night and day better.
I mean, so the idea of this podcast is that we kind of are examining franchises, and this is one that is really interesting, that they got all these actors to sign on and basically said, like, yeah, you're going to grow up on film. Like, you're going to shoot, at the time, I think they thought they were going to do 7 movies. And they were like, we have to do these every year. So like these kids are going to school at the same time as filming this, and like this was their whole youth, you know?
Yeah, and they weren't allowed to like live normal lives like other child actors, where they could do a lot of drugs and get arrested and have scandalous like tattoos on their faces and stuff. They had to actually stay clean the entire time, which was really kind of demanding for child actors.
It's really rough. Yeah, it's really rough.
Like, I think we should all appreciate the sacrifices these kids. Can you imagine Rupert Grint could have been such a fucking burnout if he hadn't been obligated to do these movies every goddamn year, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's really not the children we should question, but their parents who are like, oh yeah, they never really liked Jimmy anyways.
Yeah,
They were too busy
sell
like
them into
looking
Sell
at
them
the
away.
check.
slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, they were too busy endorsing those checks before depositing them.
Yeah. I read that Daniel Radcliffe initially was supposed to get paid like $100,000 to do this movie, and they renegotiated. And he got $3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, think
He's
about
got a great team.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, just think about
Just
like,
for the second movie.
you're trying to recast the main character in the second movie. I don't know. I think it would have been tough. It was
Yeah,
very
no, they
difficult.
knew that they had Warner
They had him
Brothers by the balls.
You know, in fact, maybe that was their whole play when they signed him up for the first movie. They were like, "All we got to do is get him through one of these things, and we got him by the balls. We can ask for anything."
Yeah.
And like at 11 years old or whatever, that's like all going to the parents. Like they're totally making all the decisions on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like his 11 and 12-year-old like desires could easily be satisfied by like 5% of the money that they're getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he should really get percentages instead of like a solid amount, because I work on the Warner Brothers lot and the gift shop. This is still the most prominent thing. Harry Potter, which has ended
Yes.
how many ever years ago, still the most popular section.
It's fucking huge. And I was actually thinking today, like, yeah, it's so huge. Every time we go to the bookstore, like Barnes & Noble, there's like a fucking Harry Potter section, you know? Like, there's like a wing of Barnes & Noble. It's crazy. And yeah, when was the last one made? Like 12 years ago or something, right? I mean, they've got the Fantastic Beasts movies, but I don't think they're holding anything up. They're not doing as well as they thought they were going to.
Did the ugly Slytherin Quidditch player get more handsome? Did they like?
That's not something I was paying attention to. So
No, but I mean,
I know.
I'm
I'm
willing
like
to
the
agree.
ugly.
he was like hideously deformed with like teeth that were in 8 different directions in the
He's
first
still got
movie.
the teeth like that.
Well, his teeth are still
Is
pretty
it the
funky.
same
but-
actor?
Yeah, it's
This
the same
guy
guy.
right here.
That guy
Oh,
right in the
this
Maybe
middle.
he got
Okay.
braces. He got Invisalign. Good for
Yeah,
him.
seriously.
no, look at his teeth. They're terrible.
They're not as bad. They were in the first
just
one. They
a little
were just,
like beavery.
They're very English.
yeah, they were very English.
Do you think those are his actual teeth? Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, that's real.
Those have got to be his real teeth. Otherwise, they'd be like, no, this is way too distracting.
Yeah, seriously. Those look like the novelty hillbilly teeth that you get at the costume shop.
Oh.
If they're his real
Yeah.
teeth, man.
Do you think Draco Malfoy is actually a good seeker, or do you think it was just about the
His
brooms?
family are big boosters.
I think it's a little bit of both.
It's the most important position. You just can't put somebody who's not good in that seeker role.
It's those brooms. They broomed up the whole team. The whole team got brooms.
Yeah, and hey, who won the match? You know, there
I
you
think
go.
also Draco has been flying since he was young, and they were probably like, oh, he's got money. And also Slytherin's probably just like him because he has money and everything. So
yeah, I
they're
guess.
like, yeah, sure.
That kid looks like he's 8 years old.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, the photographer kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He looks tiny.
I like this part where he's spitting up slugs because I thought I was like a little aggressive for him to try to make Draco spit up slug. I always want to say Darko.
Donnie Darko.
I always think
It's
Darko
Draco,
Milicic.
Darko Milicic.
Yeah,
Drago!
because when Darko Milicic frosted his tips, he looks a little like a
Okay, I
Slytherin
get it.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see it.
I
just like a
remember
giant Slytherin.
when I was reading these books, and one of
better
my
out than in, says what's his name.
yeah, it's so true. It's so true, Hagrid. But it's like draconian.
Yeah.
Draco like draconian. Like she really went out on a ledge there and
Yeah.
named people things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mudblood is not subtle. Either.
It means
him
dirty
keeping-
blood, she says.
Yeah.
Like we really needed a translation.
What I noticed is, I mean, I know it's a movie, but Draco calls her a mudblood, and only Ron reacts. Everyone else is like, yeah, all right, yeah, that's cool. Like oh, uncomfortable, but they're not like, oh, how dare you? They're like,
Yeah.
ooh,
If,
she
like,
just got called out.
If this is their version of like the N-word, those other people are not nearly
Yeah.
upset as like Ron is the one conscience of the group.
mean,
Like, whoa,
yeah.
you can't say that. And everyone else is like, no, there's none of them around. You know?
No, like I think most wizards are racist.
It's just locker
No,
room
they-
talk.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I
just
think,
a little
like-
locker room talk.
I think like, Ron and some of the other nice wizards are actually a rarity. Most of these wizards are just like real assholes.
I think that seems to be like the underlying message of these movies so far is like most wizards are dicks.
Well, this is the thing that gets me across all of these movies. The Ravenclaw and the Hufflepuff, especially in this one, they could not even exist in this movie. Like what? They just don't get enough characterization to me.
That's true. That's a
Like
good point.
maybe it's different in the books.
Does it
Maybe-
happen more later?
Yeah, Sheila.
I
could you
mean, I
speak to that a
feel
little
like, especially in the fourth one, you see more of the houses and the different things.
When they have the tournament.
When they have the tournament, yeah, the Triwizard tournament. I don't really remember too much about the other houses before that. Just like, oh, if you're Hufflepuff, you're kind of not dum-dum, but like maybe a dum-dum.
Like a pothead.
Like a kind of like miscellaneous kid.
It's got Puff in the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was Puff like Puffy, like that's where all the chubby kids go. Like they get extra cake.
No, because there's fat kids in Slytherin. That's the
Yeah,
Ooh.
there are.
toadies for the toadies for
That's true. That's true.
Draco.
Sheila, the question's for Sheila.
Draco Milch.
Yes.
I feel like I remember something about one of Draco Malfoy's like hench buddies. Like one of them like is a criminal. He like murdered someone in real life or something. Do you know about this? Or am I totally
want
making this
I
up?
want to say it was Crabbe, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's right. He's
He's only in like a couple of these movies, and then he got recast. Is that?
For murdering.
Oh, I don't remember. We'll have to Google that.
Yeah, it was. I tried to look it up today, and I couldn't find it, but I could swear that there's something.
I
like
definitely
that.
remember
Let's just say it,
something.
especially if you couldn't find any evidence of it. Let's definitely throw it out there.
Yeah.
I hate that like we're watching this and I keep wanting to Google stuff, and this is like the one where I can't Google anything.
Yeah, because we took your phone so we could watch the movie.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel restrained.
Yeah. I would Google stuff, but I'm afraid Matt will accuse me of fondling my mic if I start to juggle
Yeah,
a
you're
laptop and a
Definitely a fondler.
microphone. Yeah.
It's in theme though. I'm like the Ron where my wand doesn't work right or something.
You mean it's
You said it,
snapped
not
in
me.
half?
It's crooked.
Yeah.
Heard it
It
here
dog
first.
legs hard to the left.
It just points up.
Doesn't perform well at all.
Why doesn't anyone get him a new wand? Like
Yeah.
I get his
Oh.
parents are poor or whatever, but like
Hermione won't let Harry's glasses stay broken for like 5 seconds, but they let this kid have a wand that backfires on him the entire
I
fucking
know,
movie.
and then they don't have anything to like help supplement like the students who can't afford things. They're just like, sucks to be you.
Also, do
Guess
they-
you shouldn't have been poor.
Do they need wands? I feel like Hagrid does magic without a wand. Dobby does magic without
okay,
a wand.
well, first,
Dobby does a
okay,
lot of magic.
so Dobby is a different species, and Hagrid's is actually his old wand is in his umbrella.
Oh.
I see.
So wait.
Got it.
Is Dobby being a different species? Why is that okay to subjugate him then?
I'm not saying it is.
But why is it that way? Why do they do this?
I don't know. There's some really, really, really old-fashioned ideas.
Yeah,
Like,
like I don't get why the whole house elves thing is even a part of this universe. Like I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but I kind of am like, maybe you should have left that out or something. I don't know.
Your objection is noted, Colin, but this I'm not going to tell you again. This is just the way the movie is.
There's no therapy in any of this. Like after what Harry's been through, they're like, just go back to your abusive aunt and uncle's house. Good luck.
Oh yeah, why would
See you in a year.
Why would they let him go back there at all?
I
Like,
know,
it's
there's
a
no
boarding
social
school.
services.
I would
It's a
just
boarding
like to-
school. Those other people do live there.
I would just like to point out that nobody was trying to murder him at home. So the boarding school might not be the best option either. I don't know.
Touche.
You know, just something. I mean, I know why they made an explanation later in the books, but it's like, it's stupid. It's a stupid reason.
I mean, it's a stupid series, yeah.
Whoa.
Damn, shots fired.
Damn.
Whose blood is this they're writing on the walls in?
The snakes?
Snake's writing on the walls in its own blood?
I think so. I think that's the
it's
implication.
so. I think Ginny writes in the.
Oh,
But whose blood is it? I don't.
That
Is
is
it
a
Ginny's
great
blood?
question.
Is it because she's...
No one actually bleeds. They just get
Because
frozen.
it might have been her own blood.
Is it Ginny's blood? It's got to be Ginny's blood.
I think that
That's a lot of blood.
If it's real
It
blood,
is.
it has to be Ginny's blood. She's
She's
the
pretty
common
small.
denominator.
I mean, I don't want to ask where she's getting the blood from.
She seems very young.
I don't know. It's right around that age, guys.
I don't know.
Kind of fucked up.
I don't know.
I
I don't think that's menstrual blood.
Yeah,
There's a lot
I
of
was
it.
like
You
trying
said
to
it.
avoid talking about that.
Yeah. And she's very young. I don't know. I feel
mean,
like-
girls can get it very young.
That's pretty
I
heavy
feel
flow
also
for-
like to be whatever. It has a different texture and a different quality to it. You would know if it's menstrual blood.
Okay, that's all I needed. That's just confirming what I suspected, which is that is not menstrual blood.
She's just slicing her wrist every time.
Oh, she might be cutting. That's definitely possible. She's into this mopey dead kid's diary, and
and she's also like
she's,
obsessed with Harry.
a little ostracized. Yeah,
And
she
Harry,
definitely.
Maybe she collected a bunch of rats and just was like boop boop boop.
Dude, like she's obsessed with Harry, and she can't compete with Hermione. Hermione's like the like she's the apple of the eye of both Harry and Ron.
Does that become a love triangle at some point?
Sort of.
Is it not already?
No, it's not. Like
Those are three
it doesn't,
very
it doesn't
different
really.
responses. Matt's like sort of. Sheila's like no, and I'm like, isn't it already like that?
It's definitely not yet because they're all just friends, and actually, like I think
So you can kind of see. So you know that Ron and Hermione are supposed to end up together.
right because they've got like a little bit of a thing where they don't want to act like they're too into each other.
Yeah. So you see that
Yeah.
through the movies
Whereas,
where
like,
she'll like.
with Harry,
They hint at it in this one.
yeah, with
She's like,
Harry,
"Oh,
Harry and
Harry,
Hermione are
great,"
like best
and they're
friends.
like-
Yeah.
Like, great, you're like a brother. And then there's Ron.
Yeah, Harry's definitely in the friend zone. So that's why I was curious if there was like if they tried to stir up a love triangle thing at some point.
Well, because in the first one, Ron thinks she's annoying for like half the school year or something, right?
Yeah, because he's into her.
In the books,
Like, isn't it annoying how hot she is?
Yeah.
in the books, I don't even think he really gets a crush until I want to say the fourth book. That's like really his first big crush.
Yeah, there is like I think like the Half-Blood Prince or one of them is like the one that's all about them just wanting to fuck each other. The kids just like finally realize they
Which
have
one's the one with the
genitals.
orgy?
The wizard
You're
orgy.
thinking about it, the Stephen King.
Yeah.
There's no secrets in this chamber.
Oh boy. Yeah, I thought that
And that bird's dead.
they do a good job of they do a smart thing where they freeze Hermione in this one. I don't know how they're going to get rid of her in all the other movies, but they can't have a character that's like smarter and better at magic than
Oh yeah,
all the heroes.
If she was in this, if she was through the whole thing, it would have. If she didn't get petrified, the movie would be over in half the time.
Yeah, she would have been figuring stuff out faster, blasting things with her wand, and everyone else would have been fine.
She's friends with Moaning Myrtle. She like talks
Yeah,
to her
exactly.
I don't know about friends, but she's like,
Well, she's cool enough that she's hanging out in the bathroom to get privacy.
Also, like Hermione's social circle outside of Ron and Harry is like a little bit limited, you know. So like anyone else who's an acquaintance outside of those two, because those two are like her
They're
main.
thick as thieves. Yeah.
So I would say anyone who's like an acquaintance outside of them two with Hermione is Hermione's friend.
well, later she gains a lot of friends. She actually becomes really good friends with Ginny,
Yeah.
who becomes her future sister-in-law, which is really weird.
She doesn't seem like she's unpopular. It just seems like she's like they're such a close knit trio that like all the other people in their house and even the other people at the school are just kind of like all second place.
I
Can
think
we take a minute here to admire that the time period that this movie came out in? Like, there's actual animals in cages in this scene. This
Right,
is
yeah.
McGonagall is teaching like whatever class this is,
Transfiguration.
Transfiguration, and there's like a fucking baboon behind her.
Mm.
Like today, that would be a CGI baboon. Like right there, do you see
Oh
it?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All of these animals.
You couldn't
Yeah.
afford a real baboon.
This is great. Like this is.
Do you know how much baboons
Do you know how
cost
much
nowadays?
I mean, a baboon's quote is pretty high, even for like the day rate on that is.
The baboon got paid more than Hagrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you don't want to see what happens when baboon prices hit rock bottom. Am I right?
Is that a joke about baboons' butts?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely you'd go into the red.
yes, Harris. Good job. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I thought you were gonna like shun me for doing that. Instead, you participated.
Just trying to bring it home.
Yes.
When you turn an animal into an object, is the animal still alive and knows it's an object?
Yeah,
Is it just like horribly contorted into a cup and like?
Is it just trapped and it's screaming?
Because when she turns the bird into a whatever it is, a chalice, I was like, okay, I get that. This bird's probably frozen, in suspended animation or something. And then Ron fails to turn his rat into a mug,
and
it's just
squeaks.
like a mug with a living tail that's squeaking. And I'm like, oh my god, what kind of Cronenberg shit is this?
It's a horrible pig.
I'd like to take us on a bit of a tangent real quick.
We weren't already.
Did you guys in high school? Did you have like groups come and like? Did you have like assemblies where like some
Dare?
What?
Dare to be drug free?
Like Dare, yeah,
Okay.
where like a group would come talk to you about not doing drugs, or like we had like I think a boy band came and like performed for us, and then there was like a full on metal band came and like played for us, and I always remember them because the band was called Chalice, and I think that's
nice.
a fucking gnarly name for our metal band.
Did you ever have the guys like the big strong men who like rip phone books and they're like they tell you not to do drugs until like and like that's how you can be strong, even though they're probably on steroids.
They're like ripped on cocaine.
Don't do drugs except for steroids and a little bit of blow before you have to go on stage.
You never got the phone book ripping guys?
No,
I don't think we did. We had some
we didn't
sort
go
of
to school in
dance
Texas.
troupe or something.
The phone book ripping guys are only in Texas.
I mean, yeah, I got to think back because I did go to school in Texas till like third grade, but I don't remember any phone book ripping guys.
No, this was junior high. Was
yeah.
the phone book ripping guys.
Oh man, I just missed them.
Elementary school, we had the Dare people, and the one thing I remember is at some point they had a play. They did a play for us, and like several of the characters were just like anthropomorphized drugs, and they just wore black T-shirts with like a name of a drug on it.
Oh yeah, I think
yeah.
There was like a youth group thing that had like that
Yeah.
kind of thing where they were like play acting like, oh, I'm heroin, I do this,
And I remember the
like,
ecstasy one was like just the letters X, T, and C on a black T-shirt. Yeah.
Wow.
it's pretty badass. No, I
X is
think
special.
Chalice is one of those weird metal names that could like Trinity or something that also could be like an easy Christian rock name.
Yeah.
Very true.
Can you take me higher?
Grab that mic with two hands when you sing that.
Sorry.
So I thought this was going to be the one where they don't show any Quidditch and they just say like, oh, the game. They do say the game's canceled in this one.
I mean,
but we do get a little bit of Quidditch. I feel like there's one where they don't even show Quidditch at all.
there's only like 5 minutes of Quidditch in this, and it was still way too much.
Yeah, this is more than a little bit of Quidditch, and I think it's more than 5 minutes of Quidditch. We're on like 2 or 3 minutes now, and they're still like gonna chase each other around for a while.
This is going to be one of those things where the book actually describes the game much better than seeing it being played. You're like, oh, okay, wow, okay, this person's passing to this person, doing whatever. Here, you're just like, okay, a bunch of kids on
Okay.
brooms.
I think
Let's-
it's nonsense.
wait, let's
though.
go
Like,
back
how
to-
do the rules fucking work?
I would like
Every
Sheila-
episode's going to be this.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a recurring thing where we ask whoever the guest is to explain what
How
the fuck-
Quidditch works.
How Quidditch isn't dumb. Because Sheila, correct me if I'm wrong. So we see it in this movie exactly what we were talking about last time. It's a blowout. Slytherin is killing them, 90-30, and then Harry Potter catches the snitch, and the game is over, and whatever the good guy's name is of their place is wins.
But like, is there a clock?
Yeah, exactly. The game, they said multiple times, the game ends when you catch the snitch, and whoever catches the snitch wins. So what the fuck is the point of everything else that
No.
everyone's doing?
It's
Shouldn't
okay.
everybody
So
be trying to catch the
it's
snitch?
when you catch the snitch, the game does end, but the snitch is worth like
150
it's like
points.
150 points. So if you're ahead by more than that, and somebody catches the snitch, but you're still ahead, you're still ahead.
So this is what I understood it to be. But my point is, why would anybody even bother scoring points? Why doesn't everyone on the team just try to help the seeker catch the snitch? Like block for them and try to corner the snitch for them, do whatever they can. Because if that's the only thing that really matters in the end, I don't know. I just don't think the points...
But I think what she's saying is like the objective then would be to like make the disparity, like
if you
have more
such
than
a terrible,
150.
if you have such a terrible seeker that there's no way they're ever going to catch a snitch, then yes, I guess you better just try to outscore the team by well over 150 points.
But then do you have
that
to
seems
keep
like the
doing
hard way.
that until someone
Yeah,
catches
exactly.
the
You
snitch?
gotta keep
you have
on
to
like
keep up.
indefinitely.
Oh my god. Also, here's something I noticed this time is like the way
The snitch wants to get caught, by the way. I don't want to like victim blame here, but the snitch is zipping around right in front of the people that are trying to catch it.
So the thing is about the snitches, it's also really tiny. And then you have I forget what the balls are called, but these bludgers, that are coming at you. That have their own mind of their own, so they will attack you.
But you got bludger whackers to defend you from.
You do. So in a way, they all are kind of defending the seeker, but it's just like a weird roundabout way of doing it.
Okay, but like, here's the thing: the way Quidditch is depicted in these movies, like, there's multiple fatalities every school year.
Oh yeah.
And like,
they don't even wear helmets.
Like, how did
Yeah, like if one of them hits one of those like beams right now with their head, they're dead.
They're dead, but like, they've got the magic potions, so it's all cool.
I guess, yeah.
They're just broken mentally, but physically they'll be okay.
Oh, well, I guess we do see a very serious injury get healed pretty quickly in this, or made worse and then healed.
How dead do you have to be in the wizarding world before you're like dead? Dead.
I guess you have to be. I guess once you're dead, you're probably dead. That's probably it. But if you're like slowly dying, you could probably be brought back.
Is there such a thing as like magical life support? Like, could you get like paralyzed from the neck down, but then they're like keeping you alive with magic, or like, do they just cut your head off and give you like a frog body after that or something?
I'm sure there's some sort of he just got hit by the.
Yeah, he broke his arm.
Yeah.
Should have broke his skull. I think that wood guy is dead.
I just can't believe he's like, I'm still going to go for it. I broke my...
Draco Milicic got, definitely had a concussion. Yeah, he had that look on his face where he was like definitely concussed there.
He was like, I definitely almost died.
Yeah, definitely. He probably sprained a bunch of, ligaments in his whatever.
And then when he's in the hospital, in typical fashion, the Hogwarts staff is like, don't look at him, Harry's here.
Yeah. Like, quit your complaining, Malfoy. Yeah. Harry Potter's injured.
Dude, he's like on life support. He's like fucking intensive care.
Why is Hermione the only one who knows any magic? The adults are like, whatever. It's always Hermione who has to save everybody.
She's the smartest.
Yeah, agreed. What is that about?
She's the superstar. Harry Potter shouldn't even be the title of these books. It should be Hermione and those other twos.
This is why they had to petrify her. And how did she get petrified? Being ahead of everyone and solving the fucking mystery.
Yep.
Also, she can like fix his glasses with magic, but she can't fix his eyesight.
It also took them months for them to find the thing that was in her hand while she was petrified. Why didn't the actual caretakers take notice of that?
It's pretty cool when his arm gets all bendy. Yeah.
Also,
like that.
Nobody checked Lockhart's magic skills before he became a teacher. Like, let's just make sure you can do a basic, any basic test.
I don't think they did that at all.
Or even see if you can teach.
I don't think they
I know, they're just like, oh, you want to join? Yeah, sure, why not?
Is it like the equivalent of lying about what school you went to on your resume, and like no one checks up on it?
This is like this. It's a cult of celebrity. Dumbledore saw a best-selling author who had a bunch of followers and everything. He's like, oh, that's going to look great for our school. Did he care about actually protecting his kids from the dark arts? No, of course not.
This guy's
Dumbledore
famous.
sucks. Yeah, Dumbledore is a fame whore who doesn't care about kids. There, I said it.
Yeah,
I said it.
No, we should write a companion piece to the novels called Dumbledore's Negligence.
Yeah, exactly.
The scars of Dumbledore.
Yeah. Hermione's a badass, and Dumbledore doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, isn't the new Fantastic Beast called The Secret of Dumbledore or something?
Yeah.
The secret is he's like.
The secret is he sucks at his job.
Secret is he's gay. What? Not a secret.
No. I saw that.
We were given that information, actually.
We were given that after, on Twitter, J.K. Rowling was like, by the way, Dumbledore's gay.
But born a man, stayed that way.
Yeah, and only gay with men. Only real men.
Only real men.
Only gay with real men.
Only men who tear phone books in half.
Yeah. I would love to see the Wizarding World equivalent of the phone book tearing.
It's this point in the movie that I'm like, oh, right, Dobby exists. I completely forgot he was a plot point at this. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
It's me, Vladimir Putin.
He's not in other movies, is he?
But
Dobby? Yes, he is.
Oh, God.
He's
like the Jar Jar Binks of this movie, and I don't know why he doesn't get more shit.
I agree.
He's like the difference between Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2, where like the Incredibles 2 characters look so much better because the movie came out 15 years later.
Yeah.
Like Dobby appears in like the last movie and he just looks incredible.
I think it's because of the books that you kind of see a drawing of him and you're like, all right, this guy's okay, but then you see him in this movie and you're like, oh God,
What's wrong with
it looks
him?
like he's been melted in the
I
microwave.
used to look like you know.
Also, he's like he's trying to help, but he's got that annoying, it's like that animated character thing where he's like too manic and too ridiculous. And I can see how
This
he
is
would
what
appeal
bath salts will do to you, kid.
Exactly.
there's a
I can see how he would appeal to kids, but
He's acting so over the top that you can tell he's not in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he would understand that he's too big.
he's definitely not reading the room.
I forget the character's name, or the show, but there's a show about.
Is it Alf? Are you
No.
referencing
This
Alf?
is the
No,
perfect
about-
analogy for our show. Is like I don't know what the thing I'm talking about or the thing in it.
It's okay. It was a spoof on. It was a animation. It was a spoof on superheroes, and they're all basically fuck ups. And then there's one guy that kind of looked like a weird duck sort of thing. He looks just like this. I'll find it after and show you
Talking about
guys.
the Tick?
No,
It's a cartoon.
No, it's an animation. It was
Was
like
it on Comedy Central?
Cartoon
It might have been
fake
Comedy
superheroes.
Central.
We should know
Drawn
this.
together? Is that?
oh,
it?
it might have
yeah,
been drawn
that-
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you know
right.
that yellow duck, non-duck thing that just looks like him.
I don't remember. I remember
I
that
just
show
remembered
vaguely.
it.
Like the name just came to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
also
don't like
vaguely
Dobby.
remember.
Like, also, the entire time he's working against Harry and causing Harry problems.
Yeah, like he's
And then
almost
in
killing
the end,
him.
Harry's like, "Oh, cute."
Does anyone come away from this movie and say, "I really enjoyed that Dobby character"?
Yeah. Wow. Dobby was totally heroic.
Well, in one of the books he is.
Don't spoil it.
Have you guys read it? Read the books?
No.
I actually, again, I read
Matt
the
has.
books. I don't remember.
I've seen
Yeah.
the covers of the books.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like Matt has read them. Okay, yeah, you'll see.
Hey, should we introduce Sheila to some top 4?
Oh yeah, we could do top 4.
It's about that time.
All right.
Is
Let's do top 4.
Yeah,
time?
top 4 used to be
Top
an
4 could be any
end,
time.
an end gimmick, and now it's like the midway point of the show.
I see.
That kind of makes sense to me. I think that makes more sense. We need segments to break up.
We got to
the,
break it up.
I-
The
this-
monotony.
the babbling.
This might come as a surprise to you, but my concept of time is very loose, unstructured, and confusing during the time when we are podcasting.
How long do you think we've been here?
A million years.
Close, maybe
1
an
hour.
hour.
Yeah, it's been 1 hour.
An hour. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Dobby being over the top and not being able to read the room and it being super annoying, what's the deal with Moaning Myrtle just being so hot? No, I'm just
No, yeah.
I knew you were gonna. I knew that was gonna be a thing. I knew this was gonna be a thing that we would have to talk about.
The actress who plays Moaning Myrtle, she's supposed to be, I forget how old she's supposed to be, and like, I don't know, let's say 15, 16.
Isn't she like 30 plus?
She's
though?
like 30 plus in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's also one of Bridget Jones's friends in Bridget Jones's Diary.
But also, I think it's like they dub her voice, right? Like that is not the actual voice of the actor.
No, that's her voice.
It's so strange, like what
She's,
they
like,
do
doing
to
a
the
voice.
voice.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's putting it on more, but that's her voice.
It's very odd.
I mean,
I'll just swim in this shit.
I'll just swim in this shit. Oh, I never noticed this table is really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
They laid down that special, like,
There's so many extras. These would all be CGI extras.
is that like a magical equivalent of a tarp that they laid down?
I
just in
think
case
so.
It gets slimy out there.
Well, see, the thing is it's probably is a tarp, and the house elves are all doing it.
Yeah. Kenneth Branagh's costumes in this are all very good.
I love this Jay Leno looking
He
kid.
would make, Kenneth Branagh on this would make an excellent lesbian. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
yes, like look at the outfits,
The hair.
the hair,
Yep.
the cape.
Oh
Woo.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Kenneth Branagh, we are doing top 4 of Kenneth Branagh. So Sheila, top 4 is where we try to guess what IMDb lists as the 4 movies that Kenneth Branagh is known for, where it has little pictures of them at the top of his IMDb page. There is no rhyme or reason to it at all. It is random and stupid and almost never is the ones you're thinking of. We're going to guess them round robin style, one at a time. You get to go first. What is one of Kenneth Branagh's top 4 known for movies?
Just guess one.
Okay, I'm gonna do something. Much Ado About Nothing.
That is right.
That's
Wow.
correct.
Yes.
Is that the Denzel
Wow.
one? Is that the Denzel one?
That is the one with
And Keanu?
Keanu.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington.
And his wife at the time, Emma Thompson.
Yeah, nice job, Sheila.
Oh,
I thought that was going to take some guessing from you
I was
guys.
like,
I did not think that,
You know-
that anybody was going to get that for a while.
That's crazy because I the first time I saw that movie was in junior high, like not long, somewhere around the time of the phone book ripping guy, which is
You're just trying to
hilarious.
find ways to bring it back to the phone book ripping guy. All right, Matt, you want to go?
Colin snuck out of the assembly to watch Much Ado About Nothing.
What if it was like in the same week? I like in one class I watched Much Ado About Nothing, and in like one assembly, like one day later, it was like the phone book.
And you just
ripping
get so
guys.
confused. He's like, what was that Shakespeare play where they ripped the phone books?
Yeah,
For the whole time he's been on cold medicine, and he's like, yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's
all
great.
the same. It all ran together.
Matt, you got a guess?
I cannot think of the name of this movie. I'm so dumb. It's not The Death on the Nile, the first one. I can't think of what it is.
The Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, that one. Murder on the Orient Express. That's my guess.
You shouldn't have helped him, Colin. That is
He's
right.
correct.
Yes!
Yeah.
Why did I help you?
All right, Colin, because
Why
you
did I
forgot
help
that
you?
this is a contest.
I'm totally
You're
gonna
not,
get this wrong.
you're
now.
not good.
I'm not gonna get it right now.
No, you're not. You could try.
Because I don't think Murder on the Nile. It's not. It hasn't been out long enough, and I don't think it's gonna be there. I'm gonna guess this movie. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
No.
Wrong.
Isn't there like a candy or a gum called Sucrets or Sucrets?
Sucrets?
Yes.
Yes.
Every time I see the title of this movie, I always think of
Chamber
Harry
of
Potter and the
Secrets.
Chamber of
There's a bunch of
Secrets.
breath freshening
This is
gum.
when we learned that Colin has dyslexia, which is okay. That's fine.
And a major sweet tooth.
It's
And
not
a major sweet
dyslexia.
tooth.
I'm like replacing letters. That's not the same thing, is it?
It is kind
Then
of.
we learn. Then we learn later that. Then later, Colin learns he has dyslexia.
I was gonna say, Colin, if you do stuff like that a lot, you might have dyslexia. I'm dyslexic. I do shit like that all the time.
Oh,
Sheila.
Oh,
wait, did I get it right?
No, you got it very wrong. Sheila, we got two left. What is another one of Kenneth Branagh's known for movies?
Frankenstein.
You guys are thinking very hard and with little to show for it. No.
Wrong.
Damn. All right, I'm going to go with a more recent performance of his
Okay.
that I really dug in a movie that I liked, but a lot of people didn't. Tenet.
Nope.
Wrong.
Who was he in that?
He's the bad guy.
Oh, he's the bad guy. Oh my god, he's so good. He's
Yeah.
a really good actor.
He's awesome.
No,
in
he's the
that.
bad guy,
All
not
right.
the good guy.
Colin.
Yeah. The Othello with Lawrence Fishburne.
Ooh.
That's a great guess, but that is wrong.
Wow.
I
Wrong.
knew it would be wrong, but that's a great one.
All right.
It is a fantastic one. He's a great.
It's
Iago.
the hint round.
It's
it
the
has
hint
to be.
round. My hint is that, like the two movies that you've already guessed, these other two movies were also directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, he directed one of the Thors.
His top four are all directed by him.
Are all directed by him.
Wow.
And I will say, well, this is too much. No, that's enough for a hint for one round.
He
If I
directed-
give you one more hint, you'll get them
Yeah,
all.
don't do it.
He directed the first Thor movie.
But he's not in it, right? He's
I don't think he
he's
has to
in
be
all
in
these
it.
movies. Is he acting in these
Do
movies?
He
you want
didn't say
extra
that.
clues?
Oh,
Can I
you're not allowed
guess
to
one?
say?
This is
Okay.
known for, so it could be
He could
Yeah.
be known
Is it-
for directing.
Is it Belfast? No.
No, it is not Belfast.
Wrong.
Matt?
God, I know that he's in so much, and I just cannot think of anything.
We've already mentioned one that's
I'm
wrong,
gonna say
but
Thor.
no, not Thor,
Yeah.
and not Wild
Wrong.
Wild West either. I'll give you that hint, Colin.
Damn, Wild Wild West.
I was
Fuck.
about to guess.
Oh,
Colin,
I
you
have
got another guess?
another. I have another guess.
It's not
you
your
guys.
turn.
You guys will
I
get it
know.
this last round if I give you another hint.
The one where he does the St. Crispin's Day speech. It's Henry and a number.
Henry and a number. Now coming to
that
HBO
your
Max.
guess?
It's not
Henry and a
eighth. It's
number?
not eighth. I know that.
That's right. It's not eighth.
Henry the Fourth.
Ooh, so
Fifth?
close.
Fifth?
It is Henry the Fifth.
If that counts,
Is that right,
Come
though?
on, that counts.
It's Henry the Fifth.
I said fifth.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between Henry the Fourth and Henry the Fifth, but that's okay. For instance, one is not a movie that Kenneth Branagh made.
Look, I'm from Texas. All right.
But wait, are we giving it to him? Is that right?
Yeah, I think we should give it to him. I guess.
All right.
I agree.
Henry V.
Do you want another hint, or you want to go one more? Try to get it.
I don't know any more movies, so I'll take a hint.
Okay,
I
your
need to
last
conjure
hint
something.
is that. I mean. I feel like it's
Is
hard
it
to give a hint that isn't going to give it away completely.
Is it another Shakespeare movie?
Yeah, it is. I was going to say it's by the same author of two of the
Oh,
previous.
okay, yeah, it's another.
Oh,
what
wait
else
till
is
Matt
he in?
goes.
No, it's your turn.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Is it All's Well That Ends Well? Is that the name of it?
That is the name of a Shakespeare play.
It ends well? I don't. As You Like It. As You Like It. That's what I'm thinking of.
That is wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wrong.
That's with Bryce Dallas Howard and Kevin Kline, who's also in Wild Wild West.
Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh are very similar.
Oh my god, I would love to
character.
see like where's the vehicle for them two as the leads?
Well, they're both in Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Only one of them, though,
So
is married to
that's the
Phoebe
vehicle.
Cates.
That's it. And the vehicle is a giant spider.
Where's the sequel? Where's the why aren't there more?
All right, you guys have been overthinking this. Colin said earlier that what he's best known for is doing
I got
Shakespeare
it.
stuff.
I know
It took
it.
you forever to guess it.
I know
And now
it.
you're overthinking the Shakespeare stuff.
I know it. It's Hamlet.
It is Hamlet.
Yeah.
Very good.
I never saw that one.
Oh.
I read it. I don't.
It's about.
I read
it's,
the book.
it's
It
about a
wasn't that
tiny
great.
pig.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's about
God.
a smaller ham.
I know that's not what it's about, but I would love that so much.
Why no one has made like a kids movie called Hamlet about a tiny pig? Like I don't know.
That was the original name of Babe.
Yeah.
Actually, there.
Here's the Jay Leno kid who's like only in this movie because he's got.
Oh,
looks
I
like Jay
literally didn't even remember that kid got petrified.
Why
So who
does
is
the-
that?
Why does the janitor hate them so much?
Leno. Because look at him.
Look at his
Okay,
hair.
so he's
evil.
a squib,
What?
which
what?
is
He doesn't look like a squib. Wait. What's a
squib?
so a squib is somebody who is born into a magical family but has no magical powers themselves.
Oh.
So that might be why
He's
Bitter.
disgruntled.
he's a little bitter. Yeah.
Well,
Or it
doesn't
just
that
might be
mean he
he's a
should hate
horrible
the
person.
Slytherins more?
You know what? He doesn't seem like he has like, a lot of great social skills.
Mm-hmm.
He named his cat Mrs. Norris. I don't
Can we
know.
ever get into
Never
that?
taken a shower in his life.
Is he married to the cat?
He's not, but I'm like, why is the cat Mrs. Norris? Because his last name is Filch, which is like
Yeah, my
Also,
cats have
he's
my
a-
last name.
he's the Game of Thrones guy.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
Is he the Greyjoy guy?
No.
No. He's
Walter
the-
Frey.
Frey. Yeah, he's the Red Wedding.
Oh,
He's,
yeah,
the, he's the
Frey.
grossest
I thought I
Game of
was
Thrones
saying-
character.
Yeah, he's the worst. Yeah, he's the worst. Oh, the entrance to Dumbledore's office is pretty.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
fucking
pretty
rad.
dope.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool sets.
I
in
think
this
I think
movie.
the production design here was great with a phoenix rising stairwell thing.
That's very
A little like inconvenient if you're in a hurry, but
or if it gets stuck.
yeah.
Yeah, or what if? I mean, does it only go one? I mean, I don't know.
I
And
read
it's
something.
like a stairway, so like it doesn't have to be a stairway if it actually is an elevator. You know, like it doesn't have to be both.
Also, all of Dumbledore's passwords are candies.
Yeah.
Lemon sherbet.
Like one time there was a cockroach clusters.
Sounds delicious.
I mean, I can't say I go by it, but that's all of his passwords are like.
Oh, and the Chamber of Secrets.
I think it would be funny if all his passwords were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He just never changed it from the default.
You know what I really want is the backstory to the Sorting Hat because
Yeah, what's up with that?
and
It's
absolutely they never ever explain it in anything, and I'm like
clearly a
it's
sentient creature.
a sentient fucking hat.
Yeah.
that, like pulls you can
Sentient
pull
article of
shit out of
clothing.
it, pull the sword out of it,
Also kinda
its
crabby.
powers, or the rules of its powers.
and it's just it doesn't eat anything. It's just
I kind of feel like it must have been like
Dandruff.
and then it just sits on top of children all the time. Like it's just weird.
Yeah. And it must have it's like grumpy and must have been like a like a I feel like it was like a bad guy at some point, and this is like its curse is that it's got to be a sorting hat.
I thought you were gonna say it used to be a cow, like it's leather, and it's the cow's just like
It's an
pissed.
enchanted cow that could
It
not
doesn't
die.
seem that mean though. It just seems like
No,
a little
no,
bit
It's like
like
Oscar the
cantankerous.
Grouch, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
cantankerous and lovable.
He's gruff. Is gruff the right word? I think.
Yeah,
he's
gruff is great.
I think gruff will do.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see Harry Potter do his like weird mouth stuff so I can point it out to you guys.
He's been doing it. I've been
he
seeing
does
it.
mouth stuff. Yeah.
It's like he doesn't know how to smile right sometimes.
Especially
Yeah.
some of the scenes are just like coverage of literally it has to be the director just telling him, okay, smile now. We're shooting that and then cut, you know?
Yeah, like
And
at
then
the end
he's,
of
like,
every
really
scene, they just
forcing
had to
a
get a
smile.
bunch
Yeah,
of reactions.
Yeah, and he's just really forcing a smile and his mouth is just kind of gaping and
Man, now that you said that, I feel like that might be the answer because there's so many reaction shots of Harry, and I feel like a lot of times he's looking at something that's CGI or something that probably wasn't actually there, and it was just somebody telling him, do this, look like this, or whatever. And if that's the case,
right
yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that one's definitely looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, but he's like not looking at anything in the.
And
in
who
this
knows?
shot.
In his close-up, he might not be looking at anything at all. And somebody just said, "Smile like you're just seeing this bird being born," and then he's doing it, and it's just not
He's like,
coming
cool,
across. Yeah,
cool
it's like,
bird.
oh, bird. Yeah, okay.
They probably had to go animatronic and puppets and stuff to get reactions from the kids.
Yeah.
Because if it's all CGI, they are not even looking at anything.
Remember Close Encounters where they were like terrifying that child with like surprises?
Yeah.
Just so it. Yeah. See,
I
Spielberg
love
had it right.
He did.
Terrify the kids with.
That's even
incredible
harder. That's like a
surprises.
baby. You know, that kid.
Yeah,
like,
he was making that baby act better than Harry Potter does.
I believe this is Richard Harris's last
Last.
movie.
He died.
He
shortly
literally he looks
On
so
death's
old,
door.
and now then you're like, oh,
I love in the flashback, he looks exactly the same, but his beard is like half the size.
Yeah.
Like his beard is the indicator of how old he is.
Does he look like Jude Law though?
More than you'd think, but I don't understand. Like,
but
he
he's
looks just like Jared Harris, who is his son.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, he
Who I don't
so
know why-
also wizards are also so he's over 100 years old.
Oh, he looks good for 100.
Yeah, so like he looks great.
Yeah. I mean, Richard Harris was not 100 though.
No.
The Duck of Death.
Yeah, he didn't even live long enough for this movie to come out in theaters. He died before the premiere.
Oh.
He never got to see his performance.
Oh, he was probably like, whatever, I phoned it in.
That was a nice impression.
Mr. Potter.
Yeah,
He's
I'm sure
looking
he
for a
got like a
paycheck.
good idea of what this movie was about from producing it, making it.
Well, I think it's so funny that we go from this Dumbledore to, I mean, you guys will do the next movie, but you go to Angry Dumbledore.
Yeah, wait, who
Yeah,
plays
Michael
him?
Gambon.
Michael Gambon, yeah.
You think they told him like you make a better Dumbledore than a window?
Then a double window.
The double
Here they
window,
are eating
double
trash
pane
again.
window.
These wizards just eat the biggest, like, it's just cakes and pies and shit all the time.
You know who makes those? House elves.
Oh,
See, because
slaves.
Yeah, slave
You
labor.
can't actually apparate food. You have to make it.
And transport it from one place
Yeah.
to another.
So when you saw those pigs outside of the Weasley's house, they probably at one point maybe slaughtered them.
Oh, yeah,
And it was
bacon.
like, okay, cool. Now we can cook bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Hamlets.
Hamlets, little Hamlets outside the house. Oh, yeah. So this is where they actually have to. Oh, yeah, they've got to make like they're the bad guy kids.
This is my favorite sequence in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Them pretending to be like Gruff and Crab or whatever.
Gruff.
Crab
Bog
and Goyle.
Crab
Quagmire.
and Goyle. His name's
Goyle.
Goyle.
First of all,
Come on.
they poison these kids with cupcakes.
Well, first, look how fucking stupid they are.
I know.
They're just
Hug them.
floating
They're like,
fucking
"Hey,
cupcakes
floating
in the magic
cupcakes."
school, and they're like,
their arms are
cool.
loaded down with treats. They're
I
like,
wanna
hey,
say-
more cupcakes.
To be
I really
fair,
wanna say
though-
it's the one on the left who did something.
Yeah.
Which
like,
one of these is the murderer, Matt?
That's
Point,
Goyle.
point,
He, like,
Matt, point
stabbed
to the
someone.
It
murderer.
might have been
Goyle's
Goyle.
the bigger one. It's weird that J.K. Rowling would make a boy a Goyle.
That was fantastic.
Oh my god,
That was great.
that would be your best joke ever. I'm gonna need a minute.
Oh my god. This part's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Oh, I cannot stand watching them drink the polyjuice potion. It is so thick and gross looking.
It looks like mud.
it's so.
It's the
nasty.
hair. They
And
just
then-
put hair in it.
He's saying hair. Oh my
I think
god!
in the
still-
book they actually do transform into like a different type of liquid. I don't remember.
Hair is
And also
like
they just drop their glasses. Like,
Oh my
we
Yeah,
don't have
they
to
all
clean
break.
this shit up.
yeah.
hair looks wonderful on people, but the second it comes off of your head, it's instantly disgusting.
True fact. My first college roommate.
Except for that hair that gets in the drain in the shower. That's
That's delicious and good for you.
And nutritious.
Yeah. No, my first roommate in college. I never really thought about it, except my first roommate in college was from Long Island. No, he's from one of the boroughs. He's from Brooklyn, maybe, or the
He's
Bronx.
gonna keep
Brooklyn's on
listing
Long
stuff.
Yeah, I know. But he was Italian. He was like skinnier than I was, but his entire body was covered in thick, coarse, jet black, oily hair, and he had like
His name was Robin Williams.
No, it was like Robin Williams if Robin Williams was like dense black hair. Like his arms, you couldn't even see the skin. The hair in
Sounds
his head,
very Mediterranean.
hair in his head was like, I don't know, 8-10 inches long, like always slicked back. And just living with him in a small dorm room, there were just these giant, like thick black hairs everywhere.
Oh.
And I'd never been grossed out by hair before, but like when it's surrounding you at all times and you just know it's not yours and you're just like, oh my God, I found another 8-inch long hair in my bed. How did this even get here? It was disturbing.
Just
That sounds
respring the
disturbing.
mattress.
This soon comes up. One of my probably favorite lines in the whole series. I think two of my favorite lines are in the whole series are in this movie. And it's not yet.
Is it
but
from
it's,
Malfoy?
It's from Malfoy.
Yeah, I know the line. It's a great one.
Always my favorite.
Okay.
The way he delivers it is really funny too, and they say that it was improvised.
Yeah, they always say that about great lines, and
Yeah,
it's always a lie.
never true. Yeah,
I mean, the kid playing Malfoy, he goes for it. He really goes for it.
he's really good. I think he's good in all these movies.
I mean,
This is
it's
it is.
over the top, but
Reading. I didn't know you could read. And it's just like not even judgment or anything. He's like,
yeah. He's like that doesn't affect me at all.
Like we're in the same grade in school.
Yeah.
Your reading level is literally the same as mine.
But it makes you wonder, are they teaching these kids, to Colin's point earlier? Like,
I've
if
never
some of these
seen
kids in
these kids
Slytherin
learn
can't
anything.
read. Well, we see them in class. They're learning spells and shit.
But just
But
because they're
they-
learning spells and shit, I mean, they still
Maybe
have
they
to
can
learn
cheat.
math and English.
Do
right?
they?
And almost every scene where they're in class, it's almost a point that they didn't learn anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, something always goes wrong, but that's
Yeah.
the hijinks stuff because it's a kids' movie.
yeah,
and they have
but
to have
like
hijinks.
I have my questions.
I think and as far as I remember in the books, Harry, you don't have to take math ever again after you're 11. But there's stuff like history of magic and stuff that they're probably flunking if they can't really read.
Yeah, but you can
But maybe
I'm
they're
sure you
really
can
good at cheating.
use your wand and do calculorum and figure out whatever you need to math.
I don't know. These two ate floating cupcakes, so like
Yeah.
the
What-
bar's pretty low.
What I love about this sequence is like I actually believe like that kid actually kind of even looks like Harry Potter a little bit when he's
Yeah.
got the glasses on. Like I feel like these two actors do a really great job of embodying like he's Harry Potter and the other guy is Ron. Like he's making Ron faces right there. Like they just do such a great job. And what's funny is like these guys both don't have a line in this movie.
Yeah.
The only lines that they have are dubbed over with the other actors.
It's too bad one of them is a murderer. Dun dun dun.
Maybe.
Later,
Maybe.
turns out
As far as
we're
we know.
all wrong. He
Yeah.
was murdered, and we've just been besmirching his
Oh,
good name.
God.
He's actually volunteers in a soup kitchen every day.
Oh God! Well, we don't know. He could go.
But he only
either
does
way.
it. He only does it to get close to the homeless people, so he can murder them without anybody
no.
finding out.
What the hell is this story?
He only helps out at Evil Soup Kitchen.
But then he bakes them into pies and serves them to other homeless people. So
Oh no!
I was trying to think of what could be good about murder.
What is going on with Draco's hair? It's like in between blonde and
I think it's just the way
Red
that
blonde.
it's the projector.
like a
yeah.
Venetian blonde, a strawberry blonde.
I don't think I feel like I saw this also when I was watching it at home.
Yeah.
Where's
It's-
this line that you were talking?
It could be the light from
You-
the fireplace that they're
We already
near.
passed it.
Oh, the reading thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite in the whole series. I didn't know you
didn't
could read. Yes.
In the whole series?
That's a bad sign for the rest of the lines in the series, though.
My second favorite though is at the end of this movie.
Did you guys all watch the after the credits scene? The
Oh no, I
post-credits?
didn't. I forgot it was there.
It's Kenneth Branagh trapped in a book.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot more full frontal nudity in that after credits scene than I thought there would be. I'm always surprised by that. Like,
Oh my
how
gosh,
kids
Harry
movie.
Potter looks so different without his glasses.
Yeah, I can't even recognize him.
What do we think of the whole Tom Riddle plot line that's going on here?
I can't believe that no one ever was like, by the way, Voldemort. Yeah, his name is Tom Riddle. Okay, bye.
Yeah, clearly they know. And if
It's-
they can't say Voldemort, I would just be calling him Tom Riddle. Be like, that guy Tom
You know,
Riddle
the
turned
artist
into?
formerly known as Tom
Yeah,
Riddle.
exactly.
I got to go back and say that cat makeup and the whole effect of that when she's a cat is fucking great. Like it must have
Yeah, it
cost
is
so
great.
much money and like work and time, and it was on screen for like 4 seconds.
If
maybe
if that,
less.
yeah.
Yeah.
see, I kind of like, I kind of don't like the the culture of the wizarding world, there's like literally slaves. There's a guy. There's like a mass murderer.
There's no
who's
black people.
enabled by the fact that he's like we literally can't talk about him. You know, classicism, racism, all this stuff. Like what? I don't know where I'm going.
Do you also hate Nazi Germany? I mean, what are you trying to say?
Do I hate Nazi Germany?
Come on, Colin, take a stand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, what the hell? Like, why? Yeah, why? Like,
It is. There's a lot of antiquated things.
If you don't want there to be another Voldemort, maybe say like, this was his name, this is what he did, this is why it was wrong, we should talk about it. Instead, it's like, oh, we're scared.
But, you know, we don't even really do that in our own culture. So we kind of like, we were like, oh, yeah, we're the good guys. Oh, yeah, that guy was bad. Okay, bye. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just all want to forget.
But I would say, like, okay, like, with the Nazi Germany thing, we do know Hitler was bad, and we, like, know it was because, like, most people know at least bare minimum that he wanted to kill Jewish people.
I mean, like, half the country right now is trying to erase history and, like, you know, burn books and, like, racism doesn't exist. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. But let's not talk about, like, the sources of it or, like, the inequality. Let's just keep going. Also, Marvolo, what kind of fucking name is that?
Yeah, they definitely needed a stupid middle name to like fill out
but like he made it did. Is that how he decided that Voldemort was going to be his new name? Was he could make an anagram out of his old?
Yeah,
like because it seems like there would be simpler ways to do that. Also, he didn't make an anagram out of his name. He made an anagram of like a sentence that introduced himself.
Also,
which is
before he was totally evil, he was a cigarette spokesman. He was the Marvolo Man.
Oh.
You've got a lot of
and the anagram is
got a lot of goodwill built up here, Colin.
I think Marvolo Man is hilarious, and I stand by it.
In the anagram, he says, "I am Lord Voldemort." Like, how do you become a lord?
Right, he's declaring himself.
I mean, I guess that's kind of his whole shtick, is you know,
he just
and better than everybody else, even though he was born half wizard, half Muggle.
But then he discovered that he was the heir of the original Slytherin, so like that's him like pronouncing himself as like a lord because he actually is like descendant from one of the original aristocracy, original nobles of this world.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that makes sense.
I thought this kind of had me, it wasn't terribly complex, but it had me, like this whole sequence where he sees a flashback and it's like, oh, I knew Hagrid wasn't the bad guy, but it was a nice misdirect that kept me like, oh, interested. I don't know what's going on. I remember that Tom Riddle was something bad, but I couldn't remember exactly how it played out. It seemed like it was surprising. I could see how it's a kid's movie, and it was twisty enough that I could see how it would surprise kids and be like a fun twist for them.
Well, the first time I ever saw it, I had like no knowledge going in. I had not read any of the books. I just knew it was about wizards. And so like the whole Tom Riddle misdirect thing was like, oh, that really like worked for me a lot better. Mm-hmm. When I watched it this time, I was like, yeah, Tom Riddle's Voldemort. I already know that.
Yeah, he just seems evil from the get-go to me.
Yeah, every time I see a movie for the second time, I'm always like, oh, yeah, I know what happens in this. That's like one of the trademarks of my second viewing experience is that I always remember that I'd watched it before.
I will say, Harris, the second time I saw the Batman, I did fall asleep at the end.
I forgot about that great hog statue in this Tom Riddle flashback. That's a beautiful hog statue.
A little Hamlet there.
It's a Hamlet. Yeah. It's in a Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yep, this flashback is pretty cool.
You think he was like kind of a suck up? Because he seems like kind of a suck up. They're like, Tom, what are you doing out of your quarters or whatever? And
it's weird how interested in this, like, it's obviously a dead body, and he's like, he looks really into it,
Professor Dumbledore, your beard is getting longer.
Soon you'll be a very old man.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore is a stupid name, right?
It's made up, right?
You make a better Dumbledore than Dumbledore.
You got a Dumble do or you Dumble don't?
That doesn't even make sense.
Nope.
Okay, we got to get something going here. We're getting a little punchy.
Yeah,
We're
I
just
feel like
watching the
we've run
movie.
out of stuff to talk about. Want to just jump to the ending, like, or how this movie concludes?
We could.
I like the ending of this better than the first movie. I mean, the giant snake looks fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
I like the animatronic of it. It looks like scary. I hate the CGI version of it.
I can't help but compare it to Conan the Barbarian, which I think is a better battle with a giant snake scene.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We definitely covered
the
that.
mechanical one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that one.
When he when he's like underneath the like ritual ceremony where the woman's gonna like dive into the snake pit with like, all the people like in the cult praying,
iron
and
snake,
he's like
yeah.
trying
Apparently
to
that's
silently.
the movie I haven't seen.
Trying to pry the eyes out.
Oh,
of
you
the
haven't
thing.
seen Conan the Barbarian?
No,
There's terrible oversight on your part.
I know. I should have prepped. Should have prepped.
Yeah, if only
Should have known
you knew.
all movies with snakes.
It's there's a lot of snake stuff.
What is the best snake movie? Is it Anaconda?
It's Anaconda.
Is it Anaconda? Is it Snakes on a
I mean,
Plane?
wait. I was going to say Anaconda is a terrible movie,
Yes.
but it's probably the best snake movie.
Yes. Agreed.
Snakes on a Plane wishes it was Anaconda. Snakes on the Plane was going out of its way to
I
try
mean,
to
I
be
guess
Anaconda.
what are we defining as a snake movie?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Is it a movie where a snake is in it, or is it
Yeah,
your
yeah.
featured?
A movie where Snake is in the title. Is Black Snake Moan the best?
Ooh, I like that
Is
movie.
Black Snake Moan the best snake movie? Is it the best Samuel L. Jackson snake movie?
Ooh.
Oh, Snake Eyes.
Ooh, Snake Eyes. Yeah, that's a great snake movie. It's a great snake 30 minutes, and then the rest of the movie kind of is uneven, but...
Wait, are we talking about Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie?
Oh, I was talking about the Brian De Palma movie.
Yeah, with Nicolas Cage.
Nick
right?
Cage.
movie.
Yeah.
Could be both.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I think this is why Hagrid is no longer allowed to use magic anymore because of this. They were like, it was Hagrid. They're like, is it? I don't know. And then
Yeah, see, I feel like this whole world is kind of fucked up because I feel like people get like convicted of stuff.
Was Hagrid, the younger Hagrid, played by a older, large-breasted woman in that scene? Like, that's what it looked like.
they were like,
so.
you look
I doubt
nothing. You are tall and you've got dark hair. That's it. We cast you. We obscure your face. Great.
Yeah. Wait. So, but they figured out that Hagrid was innocent back then, but then he's guilty again now?
Right. Voldemort accused him of something, and now everyone knows Voldemort's evil, and they still
I
weren't
forget
like, hey,
why
maybe we should...
he gets his wand snapped, like as a you did something bad or wrong, but I don't remember which.
Ooh, is that how they like
But,
punish
like-
wizards? They snap their wands?
I think that like when you're in Hogwarts, yeah.
Can't they just buy a new wand?
I don't understand how this whole thing works. Maybe it's like a license.
But like, so back then they accused Hagrid of opening the Chamber of Secrets and letting out a monster, and they were like, "Okay, Hagrid will punish you," and then it went away. But then Hagrid is here now, so does that mean Dumbledore was just like, "I know you didn't do it, just like stay, lay low for a while, and then you'll become groundskeeper later"?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that
alright.
is. He's like,
We're going to stay
Hey,
out of the
homie.
media for a little bit. We're going to
Yeah.
go radio silent. Then we're going to do like a rehabilitation tour, and then just never happened.
But
He
no
was
one-
like, oh, we do need a groundskeeper, though, and you're coming cheap now, so...
But no one was like, Hagrid's still around and the monster's not killing.
It feels like there should have been some kind of group of people that were rising up to be like, justice for Hagrid.
Yeah,
Hagrid
justice
was
for
innocent.
Hagrid.
Yeah, exactly. Another injustice in the Harry Potter universe.
Oh, except
another
he's-
way that
but
also
Hagrid's half giant, so he's not going to get support from the
exactly
Yeah,
from this
okay.
racist wizard community.
Yep.
And also another way that Dumbledore has completely fucking dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Does this
like
guy
where
do
was
anything
Dumbledore?
right?
What was he doing? Where's the PR campaign?
Dumbledore sucks.
Dumble don't.
Dumbledore don't do nothing.
Yeah. All right.
I think this is the last movie too where they wear these like stupid scarves and robes all the time.
Oh, really?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
I think
Weird.
they
All
eventually
the
just
time.
put them in like
they're
regular
just like,
clothes.
look, they're in school. They'll probably be not wearing the full gear all the time.
Mm.
All the super fans like have this outfit like in their closet though, like in real life.
They start wearing sweaters a lot. I remember.
Yeah,
Isn't that kind of like USC? I feel like anytime I go to any USC thing, there's a bunch of people in Harry Potter scarves.
USC has the same colors? as
Yes,
Gryffindor.
It does.
They do.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the game is canceled, boys. So we're not doing another one of these scenes. And I was wrong.
Harris said he would turn the fucking movie off.
We will turn this movie around.
I was wrong about the Quidditch captain. I thought he was only in the first movie, but he's in this one too. Does he come back?
Wood?
Sheila?
His
I
name's
think he
Wood.
graduates.
Right? His
Oliver
name's
Wood, yeah.
right?
Wood, yeah.
I think he graduates.
I thought he died in that first game when his broom got hit by the banger or whatever.
Yeah.
The bludger.
The bludger, yeah.
The banger.
The bangers and mash.
The banger hit Wood.
Yeah. Wood got
Also, I will say Maggie Smith is just amazing in everything. She really just keeps up her quality of her acting.
And I have no
throughout everything.
idea if she's like really old or just
She's
kind of
McGonagall?
old.
She's just finally, yeah. She's only finally
I
now
read for like
getting.
the last movie or the last two movies or something, she was like doing chemo for cancer and like still just like working. At
Yeah.
the same time.
Well, I saw a trailer for Downton Abbey, whatever it is, and she's in it, and you can tell she's like getting older. She's a little shaky.
But she was always playing a really old woman in that.
Yeah. So it's also like, but now it's like more like uncontrollable. I feel like
she's not acting like an old lady. She actually is one.
Yeah.
She looks kind of like Angela Lansbury, right?
Yeah, she's
I
got.
get
And
it.
honestly, when she was younger, she had the same because Angela Lansbury was an old-looking young lady, and she like Maggie Smith never really looked young, you know.
even when she was in some other movies, when she was like actually young,
Right.
you're just like,
She always
You look
was
exactly
playing
the
a little
same.
older. Yeah.
Have you ever met someone in real life and you've looked at them and thought to yourself, like, I know exactly what you're going to look like as an old person? Like, they just have a look. Like
You say
can
it
just
to yourself
see-
or to them?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it to them.
I've seen your future and it's hideous.
I've definitely like seen people and had that thought where I'm like, I can see like where your aging is gonna go, and I know what you're gonna look like as an elderly person.
you should moisturize now.
Yeah.
I feel like I more often have the thought of like I have no idea how old this person is.
I am constantly meeting people that I think are like a decade older than me, and then I find out that they're my age, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means. But you know, I'm always seeing people that like seem old, and they're like kind of gray and wrinkly, and then I find out they're roughly early 40s, and I'm like, Jesus, what's going on?
Yeah, some people really do not age well.
Is it just me, or like past generations, like they looked older, right?
Yeah.
You know, when they were like our age, it's from smoking cigarettes, right? And like drinking all the
Hard
time, like
living.
that shit ages
When you see like high school
think also
yearbooks from
sunblock.
when you see high school yearbooks from like the 50s, it's also like the haircuts and stuff.
Yep.
Like but
And
even
the
just
suits,
the
like-
even just the faces, they just had like weird like adult faces even as young people.
Yeah, it is a phenomenon. I mean, I have looked at my yearbook kind of recently, and I look at people and I'm like, oh, they actually, now that I know what they look like at this age, like they kind of look older to me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time looking at it, I was like, wow, we all look like babies. And then I look at like my mom's yearbook and everyone looks old.
Yeah, they all look like adults.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh.
like some of it's styling and some of it's, I don't know. I think
Profiling?
some of it's sunblock.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, everyone had like this haircut, like this short haircut, and they used the hair gel to spike it up in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then comb it down on
Oh,
the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing says adult like that.
yeah, it was a very grown up haircut. Like carnival barker adult.
No, it had to be like the little spikes in the front, and then like gelled down in the top, and then like really short on the sides and the bottom.
Yeah. Every like jock in my high school had that haircut.
Yeah,
Like matted down, like so much gel. Gel
yeah,
was like,
the amount of gel, like it had to be like it looks similar to a boy band, but like you have to not associate it with a boy band because you know it has to be more jockey.
yeah. And then it was either that or the butt cut, where like everyone
Yes,
had, it was
the
like,
butt cut,
yeah, down the middle.
Butt cut.
Oh
was big.
yeah, in junior high I had a horrible butt cut. It made my head look like the helmet of a penis.
Oh,
Damn.
I was ridiculed and bullied for it, and
As well you should have been.
and I made mistakes.
Butt cuts.
Matt, you went with a Jerry curl?
Yeah, I had the Jerry curl. No, my hair was short all throughout high school, like really buzzed, like always very short. And then it wasn't until college where I went for like a long period of time without getting my hair cut, and it grew. I had like I think the term is called a Jufro. It's like just a really like curly head
I've
of
seen
hair.
the pictures.
Yeah, like came out of nowhere. I was like, wow, I never knew that my hair.
Turns out my hair was curly.
Yeah, great.
That's what happened to my little brother. I mean, when he was younger, before he hit puberty, he had super straight, super Asian hair, like whatever. And then once he hit puberty, he could like make it into a giant afro that looks like he was like a anime character. Like you're just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it is crazy that us men, we have to like keep our hair short. You know, like it's very what's the
I
word?
look over at Colin. I'm like,
Yeah,
Colin broke the
keeps her
mold.
short.
Colin, when did you first grow your hair out? High school or after?
After, but like 20s.
What do the people in
Early.
Texas think about that?
Oh, I mean, like it's they want to know like
when you're gonna get a haircut.
Cut that hair, Shaw.
They want to know why I'm such a beatnik. They want to insinuate that I'm dirty, even fresh out of the shower.
Do you ever? I've seen you do like a little man bun. Do you ever do like the low ponytail in the back?
Yeah, sometimes. Not too low though.
No, I think that would be cool though. Like if it was like
Oh
sort
yeah,
of
if it was like the ponytail that like kind of points straight down at the ground.
yeah, like
Yeah, like Malfoy, Father Malfoy, and
right, exactly. Yeah, and if you were like wearing
straighten
like
it, put
like
a little
linen
ribbon.
pants and
Yes,
Like your
open-toed-
Gaston from Beauty and the
open-toed
Beast.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you were
Open-toed
just
shoes.
down in like Venice Beach or something, and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, man."
Like you have a really big girlish like bow in the back of your like ponytail.
And if you can rock it, why not?
I think you could, Colin.
Hey, man, me and my old lady want to know if we can park our camper outside your house. That's man, I know what you're talking about now, man. I just got a vision of Colin when he's old.
You know, it's funny. I recently rewatched.
Look at the size of that fucking lantern. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
It's
Well,
actually
because
it
it's
looks
from
really,
Hagrid's house. Yeah.
I get it. That makes sense.
it looks really awkward though.
Also,
yeah,
those spiders
No, that's
are
good though. That's
huge.
good attention to detail.
I know that's the whole thing, but those are huge.
Yeah, is Hogwarts in Australia? What's going on here?
Oh yeah, they
Is his
decided
arm
to
getting
build the
tired?
school right next to the dark forest where their children can
yeah,
venture off
yeah.
to.
I've always thought that was weird.
Well, like in the first movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, the dark forest is way too dangerous, but your detention is go into the dark forest alone."
Right.
and to collect things.
Your
like-
punishment for going into the dark forest, you guessed it, going into the dark forest.
Yeah.
I hope the Minotaur isn't feeling rapey today.
I know.
Fuck. Oh yeah, where's the centaur? The centaur.
Oh,
should help
centaur,
them
that's
out,
what it is,
I
yeah.
think is that the fifth one?
No, he was in the first one.
Oh, he's also in. I want to say the fifth one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm glad
I
he
hope he's-
returns.
'Cause it's the-
I'm sure they get his
Umbridge.
CGI a little better because they
Yeah.
couldn't have gotten it much worse.
I want to see the CGI redone because the CGI in the first one
It
that's
was rough. He
That's
was one
like
of
the
the-
worst example.
Yeah, he was one of the
first
real
one.
lowlights
Yeah.
of CGI in that movie.
We don't hire dirty centaurs. I gotta show you guys that sketch still. It's so good. Now, if you saw a horse, or you saw like a rear end of a horse, but the front of it was obscured, would you be attracted to that?
You know what does bother me is that Harry Potter never gets new frames. Like
Yeah,
for like
he's got no style.
Well, why are you going to invest in new frames when anything that happens to him, you can just have Hermione straighten that
well,
out?
I wore glasses when I was young. I knew a lot of people in my life. I have known a lot of people in my life who have worn glasses. I don't know if that's a surprise to anyone, but I have. And like it seems to me that like very specifically the years we see Harry Potter grow through are the years in which you start experimenting with like what kind of frames look good on your face. And he sticks with these same ones that don't really look good on his face.
Yeah, I think there should be like one movie where he does like the Macho Man Randy Savage look, and he's just like going for something for that one movie.
Yeah.
To be fair, he is a boy who's being raised by his horrible aunt and uncle. They're probably just like, here's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
But
you
why
get the
doesn't he
same
use
one.
the wizard money
He
to
has
like
gold.
buy.
Yeah, he has
So
gold.
can you not buy regular glasses in the wizard world? They have to be magical glasses.
You know, I don't think he's old enough to really think that much about it.
Or maybe he's just stingy. I think he's just cheap. I think he like that's. I'm starting to think that like the whole thing because he could have offered the Weasleys some money for taking him in. He could have done all sorts of things with his vast fortune, and I think he's just a cheap ass. I think he's just a cheapskate.
I think maybe he doesn't think about it too much. Like, in the first movie, he buys the whole cart of pastries and stuff because he's like, cool, we both like stuff.
I need friends, and I'm showing off to make a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after he's like, I don't know, you're lucky. You have parents or people who like you.
Did he use his whole fortune on the candy cart in that
maybe
one
that's
scene?
it.
No, he still has.
He did not ask how much it cost first.
That would be 4 million quid.
No, he still has lots of money by the end of the movie. I'm like, they must have had life insurance. I don't know what was going on.
He's probably one of those people who's like, I don't really care about money too much, but it's because he's such a cheap ass. He's got so much of it because he will not spend it on anything.
But like Lens Crafters is not like a really expensive place, like. No,
but he's a tight ass. He just is such a tight ass. He won't even, not even Wizard Lens Crafters.
I'm not asking him to get like
he's not going to do it, Colin. He's got perfectly good glasses on his head.
I know. I'm not asking him to get like some Tom Fords or something like that. I'm asking him to go down to the Lens Crafters.
Does Tom Ford make glasses?
Mm-hmm. Sure
yes,
does.
Tom Ford does make glasses.
What can't he do?
Yeah, that man does everything. He directs movies. He
designs,
makes shoes and suits and
cars. No.
I also.
But at this point, if you told me that Tom Ford was making Fords, I'd be like, damn. Yes,
that just makes sense.
The F-150.
Yep.
Also,
hell of a truck.
I like in this spider sequence where there's this giant spider and Harry goes, "Oh, are you the monster we're looking for? Because you're such a monster." And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh,
you're
sure?
not the monster.
If you're not the monster,
really
who
surprised.
is the monster?"
The spider's never like, we really don't prefer that term.
You're like,
Spider's like, I'm not that monster.
It's like, before I was going to let you go, but now I have to let you get eaten.
It felt like kind of a dick move for the spider if he really is Hagrid's friend.
Yeah. These two
he's got
kids are
so
really
many-
down. They're obviously down with Hagrid though, and the spider loves Hagrid.
Yep. Rough.
But he's
Spiders
got so
gotta
many
eat.
children.
Spiders gotta eat.
Yeah.
They gotta eat.
Oh, Deus Ex Machina.
It's kind of amazing that the dog
It's
doesn't
the
get eaten.
car.
Man, this is why Ron didn't get a new wand, because he lost the family car in the woods for like a year.
Yeah, and
Yeah, how's his family? How are his parents getting around?
Yeah,
Well,
like
no,
his dad.
no.
His dad works for the fucking.
But remember,
government
his
or
dad
whatever.
wasn't taking that car to work anyways.
Oh, okay.
The kid, remember the kids borrowed the car.
Yeah, they expositionally explained that the father likes Muggle things.
Yeah.
And this is one of their Muggle things that he took.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
so
they
he
don't
just
need
had
this
it
car.
more for like funsies.
Yeah, he gets to work through a chimney or something.
It's like a toy.
Yeah,
for him.
and they also made the Weasleys look really dirty, besides the fact that they're poor. They're like, oh, you're also going to be really grimy and look like
I love
you're
this
come
shot.
from
Oh, sorry.
turn of the century.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That
because they
spider
travel
puppet
everywhere by
sauce.
chimney.
The whole spider sequence is great, and it looks great.
Oh, and the production design on like the spider's lair, that's really good. And you got some good epic wide shots of that. Actually, the whole Dark Forest. I like the Dark
Are
Forest
there
in general.
any side effects from the like anti-spider spell going through Ron's face?
Yeah, maybe the spell was just against spiders.
Yeah, but it went.
Well,
it really
if
got
Ron
him
had
in the face.
if Ron had spiders in his head, which he might have, they would have
Okay.
taken care of them too.
All right.
Is Tom
So
Ford
like
also
now
from
the
Texas?
car is
Tom Ford is
being
from
moved
Texas.
by Ron himself.
Yeah.
So like the car just picks and chooses when it wants to move.
You know, I know Tom Ford is from Texas for sure because it was in House of Gucci, the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
I just assumed Tom Ford was British.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I
right?
also used to assume that until I knew better.
Seems like it.
He just seems so classy, that Tom
yeah,
Ford.
Exactly.
Tom
Like, you
Ford.
would not find that in Texas, and yet we do.
Honestly-
we found it in Tom Ford. We found it in Colin.
Okay, like Tom Ford though, like, you know, just like two names, one syllable, and like they're like a fashion icon. That's the type of person that literally could be like just manufactured to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
could be just made up.
yeah, like totally made up. Like, you know, like Philip Gadzooks.
Oh,
I was gonna say Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima.
Tom Ford is the Aunt Jemima of fashion.
I tried to tie it into fashion and I referenced Gadzooks, which I'm sure like 5% of the people who even listen to this, which is only like 10 people anyway.
Did you say 5% of 10 people?
So half of one of those people, half of one person in our audience got that.
I hope it's the leg.
Do you guys
half.
remember Gadzooks?
Yeah, it was definitely
Vaguely.
it was
the half
definitely
that
the
can't
bottom
hear.
half.
Yeah.
The
See,
bottom
and then the
half
car
got
just
that
chooses to
reference.
go off by itself again. It's like, oh, I can move myself. I just chose to save you guys, but then kind of stall out because fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
wanted
still
to make
like
him
the
earn it
car
a
though.
little bit.
There's something about the car. It has a charm.
I'm hoping the car becomes a recurring character. I'm hoping one of these movies is kind of centered around the car, and we get to know the car's backstory.
It's just the movie Christine, but with Harry Potter.
Honestly,
Also, the fact that Harry is just now realizing Hagrid was innocent, it's like, sure, you're loyal to Dumbledore, but Hagrid, you're like, sorry, you saved me a bunch.
Nothing
Fuck
but
you.
nice to you forever, and
there's that much racism in their culture, man.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, half giant, can't trust him.
Yeah, like okay, but I feel like there's one thing in each Harry Potter movie that's really cool that you never see again. You know what I mean? Like the car. What was in the first one that was kind of cool that we like just we'll never see that again?
Three-headed
the
dog.
centaur. Oh, the three-headed dog. Yes, you know.
Where is that three-headed dog? Do we ever find out?
The three-headed dog never got like killed or anything, right?
Got put down.
I think they just moved it somewhere else.
Well, it got put down one-third at a time.
Yeah, two of the heads got put down, and the nice head got to stay.
Yeah.
It's just dragging around two lifeless
dead
heads. Yeah.
Anyways, I loved Gadzooks. It was a great
The car never comes back.
God.
I really don't remember it coming back. I could be wrong, but
It's also
I could
such
be
a thing
wrong.
of like, okay, we can't have another train sequence in this movie. How can we get them to Hogwarts? Like, I think each movie like finds a like increasingly clever way to get them to the school.
You
and
know
to
what
just, like,
scene I
get-
remember particularly hating though that's coming is the one with like the bus with like the shrunken head thing.
Oh, yeah, I hate that
Oh, I
scene.
hated it. It's just so it's a lot like Dobby where it's
so
like
random.
It's just like coming with too much.
It's right in the
like,
beginning,
cartoon
too.
imagery.
and you're like, nobody
Yeah.
needs this. Nobody.
That's the next movie, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You know what would be nice if, like, in one of the later movies, they were out in the haunted woods or whatever, and like a bunch of little like go-karts drove by, and you were like, "Oh, the car must be
car
living its best,
reproduced?
yeah, living its best life out here."
With like another car or like
Yeah.
No, it's
actually like
half
mitosis?
horse, half
One-
car.
Yeah,
It's like a horse.
got
car.
little horse tails on them.
They're
of adorable.
Scent cars.
Sit cars, yeah.
Cars.
I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds adorable. As long as I don't have to watch the mating, like it just sounds kind of cute. Like,
Yeah.
little-
Yeah.
You don't have to watch them.
I mean, you don't have. It's optional. It's
have to,
optional.
yeah, it's
For you,
optional, yeah.
Colin, it's optional. You can watch it if you want
That's
to.
the credit cookie at the end of the movie. You get to see the horse fucking the car.
The real question is,
Oh, yeah.
how much horsepower do you think those cars have?
Oh, not bad.
Oh yeah, you know.
Nothing's gonna top that Goyle.
The Goyle.
Can you?
the Goyle joke.
It was so good.
I was just gonna like I don't know if it's a horse named Tommy and it reproduces with a car, it could make another Tom Ford.
No.
Oh, dear.
No.
Oh dear.
Oh no, the Goyle joke.
Are you pressing the wrong button?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Incorrect, Colin.
Oh, Snape is barely in this movie too.
Yeah, he really is a star, though. So
This one doesn't have enough of them blaming Snape for all their problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say this doesn't have enough of them blaming Snape as he tries to save their lives.
Honestly,
and then not apologizing later.
watching all the adults' reactions, he is the only one who seems to give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the kids are doing what? And they're like, yeah, it happens. Whatever, food and forest, blah, blah, blah. They'll die. It doesn't matter. He's like, what?
He almost seems to care more about Harry than Dumbledore does, because Dumbledore doesn't do anything.
Snape would be
discussed.
Snape would be a great
Dumbledore
headmaster.
doesn't Dumbledore.
Yeah.
He Dumble don'ts. Snape would be a great headmaster.
Yeah, he would.
None of this shit would. If Snape was in charge, none of this shit would happen.
I
Wait.
also get the feeling that Snape would be really good at teaching the Defense Against the Dark Arts class, but
totally.
they won't promote him.
They will not let him do
They
that.
keep going
They're like, you
outside
are the
higher.
dark arts. You're
Yeah.
not allowed to do this. He's like, I
Not
know
yet,
this shit.
anyways.
Yeah.
Colin, do you know what Dumbledore would be called if he played on a high school football team?
What?
Fumbledore. Do you know what he would be called if he was like an independent filmmaker?
What?
Mumbledore. Or Mumblecore works too.
Yes.
Where else can we go with this?
No, I think we've hit rock bottom with this.
No.
Oh no, we definitely have. We're getting to the finale. Do we have anything else to talk about? This is where they kidnap their professor
Well,
for being
the
a coward.
fact that Professor McGonagall was like, she knew that Lockhart couldn't solve stuff, but she was like, your skills are legendary. You should go after it. Yeah, go die. Go die, fucker.
Exactly.
Go die.
A student's life is on the line, and they're like, "Oh, let's take the least competent person to teach him a little something about humility." And okay, great.
I can't believe
That'll
they.
teach him.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't put a stop to like any of his like nonsense way earlier. They let him teach that whole demonstration where Snape like almost like hurts him. They let him like jello Harry's arm. All this stuff. They should have just put a stop to it. It's clear. Like this guy is not.
You know who could have put a stop to it? Snape, if he was headmaster. He wouldn't have hired the motherfucker. He would have just been like, I'm going to get something competent.
He would have like maybe thought about it.
You know what's one thing that really bothers me in these movies is that
The accents? No, I don't know.
no delightful English accents. No, it's the Harry's eyes are blue in these movies because Daniel Radcliffe's eyes are blue, but in the books they're always described as like very vivid green because they're just like his mother's. And I think in the first movie, I think they try to give him context, and his eyes were like, nope, no, absolutely not.
I mean, couldn't they just retcon and just change it and say that his mother's eyes were blue?
I mean,
Wouldn't
I
that be
think
easier?
they just never say the color, but in the books they're very like they're green.
But if you've never read the books, you
will just be
I
live a
wasn't
half
even
life.
Sure. There was sometimes when I saw a scene in this movie, I was like, "Wow, his eyes are really blue," and I wondered if they had blue contacts in to make them blue. But now I have the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite character names is in this movie, and it's characters of all time, not just Harry Potter character names. The guy who
Dobby.
No, Ron's dad's boss is named Cornelius Fudge.
Oh yeah.
That's like a random SNL sketch character name.
I'm your host, Cornelius Fudge.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like I need to get out of something. What is a name I can make up on the fly? Cornelius.
Exactly.
Oh, what's around? Oh, Fudge. Okay.
Can't possibly be his
The
real
last name Fudge
What if you,
is great.
What if you make a mistake while you're working for Fudge and you go into the office and he's like, "What happened?" And you got to admit to him, "Oh, I really fudged it up." Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Sorry, I just fucked it up. I just fucked it up. I fucked it up royally.
I didn't mean to say fudge.
I really Cornelius it up. Oh no.
Cornelius is the name that I give when I like order from Starbucks. Like, I just know they're gonna fuck up Matt because it sounds like everything, and like I won't hear it when they
And
yell.
Cornelius is very
You can't
only one
mistake
Cornelius. Yeah.
Especially if you say, "I am Cornelius."
that. Or when they call, they're like Cornelius.
That was that Bottle Rocket where he introduces himself as it's like, I'm Cornelius. Is this my associate Jerry? I can't remember.
Cornelius.
Have they ever ran with it and like knew they just like see, I feel like if you give your name as Cornelius at a Starbucks, you have a chance of getting a coffee cup that says Cornholio on it.
Yes,
You know
you're
what I
right.
mean?
Or corn fed. Did you guys ever watch Duckman?
I think I tried to watch
Can't say.
Duckman once and couldn't figure out if it was supposed to be funny or not.
It was definitely messed up. I remember that because watching it as a kid, I was like, "This is." Not
It was
for
on.
me.
It was on
Wait,
USA
Okay,
late at night.
what is
which It was
Duckman?
always
Wait,
a sign.
Wait, you don't know what Duckman is? It was a show that was on.
It's a cartoon on USA.
Oh,
Very late at night.
Wait, he was at
It's
I think
Jason
he was-
Alexander.
I think he was a duck private investigator.
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
It's Duckman,
yeah.
Private Dick.
What a
Wait,
weird,
Wait. I tried
weird concept. I can't believe that got greenlit. Okay,
I tried to watch Duckman, but it went over my head because I ducked. Man.
Oh my!
I'm so stupid.
They're not getting better. But the Goyle.
Harris is gonna think about this forever. This isn't the last we're hearing Harris laugh about this joke.
Really? I can't stop. It's so good. All right. Should we start wrapping this
I
up?
think so.
All right. Oh, but it's so funny. Like when the Phoenix comes in and helps him, it gives him the sorting hat, and like me, like I don't.
And then pieces out.
Right, yeah, and then the Phoenix just dips, and like he gives him the sorting hat, and for me, I don't know what the powers of the sorting hat are, or like what it does, or why he gave the sorting hat to him.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like shrug, and then like seconds later, he just like throws it on the ground and runs away.
Because he too doesn't know the powers of the sorting hat.
Yeah, I probably would have
I
put
was
it on.
laughing out loud.
And the sorting hat would have been like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get my
This
ass
is
off
not
your
what I
head."
signed
Or,
up
like,
for.
It's a talking hat. Ask it why it's there,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. He just chucks it. just slams it on the ground and starts running away
he's like stupid
scared.
bird. Fuck this.
I also honestly,
Yeah.
I think the most that Daniel Radcliffe looks like a little kid is when he's facing off against
Anyone
Tom
older?
Riddle, and he's like, "No, Dumbledore's the greatest." You can just see that little kid like,
yeah.
"No, blue is the best color ever. You're wrong." And you're like, "Oh, that's the real Daniel.
I think
That's the real."
also the other like poor acting moment for Radcliffe in this movie is whenever he's like, they managed to do a good job of cutting around some of the action scenes, like where he's fighting the snake and stuff like that, or climbing the thing, and there's probably some stunt double work and stuff like that. But there's a point at which he is running away towards the camera, and they can't hide it, and they're like, sprint as fast as you can. And there's some people like, I'm convinced that Tom Cruise is not fast because he's short and he runs very upright. But when he runs, he looks like he's running really fast. Mel Gibson's another one who just looks like he's running fast. There's a skill to looking like you're fast in the movies.
It's making those like blade hands.
Yeah, exactly,
Chopping.
exactly. And really chopping the air with your arms.
And your face is making that weird, awkward, like.
Yeah. And Daniel Radcliffe has none of that when he's running in this movie. It looks like a guy running in front of the green screen where he's not supposed to move. He's just supposed to run in place.
He's probably
like
at the age where he's self-conscious. Like my little nephew, he's just turned 5, and he's like, "Auntie Sheila, look how fast I can run. I'm the fastest thing in the world." And he just runs as fast as he
it's
can.
like spaz.
And it's just like, you're really not that fast, but it's so adorable.
Yeah.
But he's probably now at the age where he's conscious of like, yeah, I'm running. Oh, I don't want everyone to look at me.
Yeah.
I also think these clothes that they're wearing make them look very unathletic.
Oh yeah,
the
definitely.
robes.
That does not help. But yeah.
Especially like in the Quidditch, like why is the sport in this world they still have to wear like those big dresses basically?
But they're not wearing any protective equipment.
Yeah, with, like,
Right.
how many
No
Yeah,
helmets.
you can't get him a helmet, but yeah.
how many
get him
Quidditch
a nice
jets
gown.
before we like
Yeah.
direct some of the funds elsewhere?
Colin, you want to summarize your thoughts?
Oh, like my score?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a movie. What did I give the first one?
You gave the first one a 5.
Okay.
Harris gave it a 5. I gave it a 6. And Jarrell gave it a 6.5, of course, in natural guest fashion.
So I did think this was better. This was like my first, when I saw this in the theaters, this was my first experience with anything Harry Potter. This like opened up the world of Harry Potter to me, I guess, which I could be significant in some way.
The
Sorry,
wizarding
they're
world of
mentioning
Harry Potter?
Ginny
That's
right
right.
now. Like, we haven't seen her in the past, like, hour and a half.
Oh,
Well,
but
that's
they've
true.
talked about her. We know that she's kidnapped.
yeah.
We talk
Now
about her.
we
We
do.
know she's kidnapped. We know that she's somewhere.
This door is fucking cool.
Snake door.
Yeah.
Snake Door is good.
I thought I was summarizing my thoughts here. What's going
Parcel tongue.
Yeah,
Well,
go
now we're
ahead.
involved in the movie.
Say what you want about Slytherin.
I
They
thought-
have some pretty cool designs.
yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
got some cool locks.
on? But I thought parcel tongue is how you talk to the UPS guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He just comes to your door. You're like, he's like, excuse me?
I thought it was cool that how they like explained it. Like Harry thought he was talking normal, and everyone else is like, "No, you're speaking weird snake language."
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that scene.
Yeah.
They're like, Harry, you're being weird, even for a wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, you won't be invited to my sleepover.
They should just show what they're hearing, and it's just Harry going,
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, like, it's not good for them. They're literally Harry's only 2 friends, and then Harry's looking like a total creep in front of everyone, including them now. That's bad.
This set is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
It is
With all the
really,
snake
really
heads
cool.
And that crazy face at the end of it.
And the face at the end that reminds me of was it Roman Holiday? Or I guess the real fountain in Rome, where you like put your hand in. That's what it looks like.
Oh, that's the. But
It's-
isn't that the face of like what's the name, Salazar?
Yeah, Salazar Slytherin.
See, I think I like the name Salazar Slytherin. I think all the other Slytherin people sound even more evil, but Salazar to me doesn't sound like
He's
an
a man
evil
of the
name.
people.
Yeah,
Sal.
Salazar sounds like a
Uncle Sal.
Colombian drug.
That's not what I was saying.
Like Salazar, you're at it again. I'll get you, Salazar.
I'll get you, Salazar.
Colin, finish your summary.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I like this better. I'm thinking about like somewhere in between 6 and 7. I think like 6.5 maybe.
Are you asking for advice? I would advise you not to pick a half number.
I know we're not supposed to do that, but
I mean, we could break the mold.
yeah,
Go against precedent.
yeah. Only a true Gryffindor would use a half number.
What houses would you guys be in?
Ooh, great
Well,
question.
I did the thing online one time, but I got like Ravenclaw. which I think makes sense. I'm one of the houses no one cares about, I guess.
I think I'd be Hufflepuffin, if you know what I'm saying.
I assume I'd be Slytherin.
You look like you're from Slytherin.
I actually am a Slytherin. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see it, guys.
We should do that. We should do that on one of the episodes. Is like do a live sorting hat.
Yeah, that's a
See,
good idea.
Where'd you get that blood from?
You know, they don't explain. I'm sure. I think the book probably explained it. I really don't remember.
But we've ruled out period blood, which I think is an important revelation.
You know,
I still don't buy it though.
I mean, it's.
I mean, it makes the most sense. What's that thing they say? Like, it's the thing that makes the.
Oh, like whatever.
Oh, the easiest explanation.
Occam's
Occam's
razor.
razor. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an easy
I don't know.
explanation for how she got a gallon of blood.
Also, the amount of blood that you get on your period is not that much.
Yeah. I don't know. Like that can't have come from all one body if it's like a person.
Maybe like that's like one of her chores in the wizarding world. Is like she takes care of like
She cleans up the blood,
the elf blood from the like
the elf blood from the kitchen
from
elves
the whippings.
accidents. Yeah, the house elves. Yeah, the house elves accidents.
Horrible.
Oh no, house elf fell into the cake thresher again. Ginny Weasley shows up and is like, "What are you doing with the blood?"
Why would you want to
Not
preserve
suspicious
your
at all.
16-year-old self? Yeah. He's like, I preserve myself as a 16-year-old. I'm like, ew, that doesn't sound good to anybody. Like,
I get
But
the
it
feeling
makes sense.
Voldemort is preserving a lot of his selves.
It makes sense if that was just when he kept a diary. Like he was like, yeah, I was really into diaries as a 16-year-old. I'd be like, yeah, I get that.
Oh, maybe he had a diary for each year. So there's like a Tom Riddle, like, you know, from 16, 17, 14.
I would definitely
19.
take a later one then, I guess.
Yeah.
But actually, he doesn't look 16. He's maturing fast
He looks
for his
fucking
age. Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Colin, your thoughts?
What? This is not my fault. Like I'm not making these tangents happen.
also, he writes the letters so slow.
Yeah.
Tom, Marble, Riddle.
Yeah, it's sort of like it hammers the
He
point
spells
home
it
that
wrong.
he thinks Harry's dumb though.
And he
Let me spell it out for you, Harry.
It's not that he thinks Harry's dumb. It's that he thinks he's really clever. It's like, look, I took these letters and I turned them into I am Lord Voldemort. I didn't know what to do with the I and the A and the M, so I just made it like a sentence instead of a name. But you get the idea. It's really clever.
It's clever, damn it.
Did you also hear J.K. Rowling say, like, it's not supposed to be pronounced Voldemort, it's supposed to be Voldemort?
That's like the
you
guy
don't
who
pronounce
thinks.
the T?
That's like the guy who invented GIFs.
GIFs and
insists
GIFs.
that they be called GIFs, even though we pronounce things like that with a hard G most
Well,
of
I'm
the
not
time.
surprised because like that's the French way, and she wants to like other this Voldemort character, and
I
she's
think
British.
her undergrad degree is in French. I want to say.
Well, that would make sense.
Interesting.
That explains a lot, even beyond that. But it's GIF and Voldemort, just so everyone knows. Colin, score.
Yeah, it's like it's the choice. You either say Voldemort or you say Voldemort.
It's GIF, Voldemort, Sorcerer, and Quarter.
Quarter,
I'm really big on pronunciation here, people.
Quarter, and Saucier.
Saucier.
Sorry. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. That all that being said, I think I'm gonna give this a 6.5 Timothy Dolphin.
Wow.
All right. Well, I was going to give this 6 Timothy Dolphins. I intended to give this 6 Timothy Dolphins. That was my plan. But in light of Colin's stupid half dolphin stunt,
It's for that half listener that understands what I'm talking about.
I am going to give this 5.5 Timothy Dolphins.
Wow.
It really is significantly better than the first one. It is still a kid's movie, but I really liked it. It was, darker, a little bit darker while still being a kid's movie, and the CGI was much better. I don't think Radcliffe was better, but I think a lot of the other performances were a lot stronger and more subtle. And I liked it. I thought it was a good sequel to a good movie. So I'm giving it. In theory, I was giving it a whole dolphin more, but then Colin did his thing. So now here we are.
5.5.
5.5. Wow. Which basically just negates Colin's 0.5 dolphins.
Sheila, do you want to try?
Very petty, I know.
Give this a score of 1 through 10. Timothy Dolphins.
Okay, I'm gonna say 7 Timothy Dolphins because for me, I obviously love the series. I love the books, and it's more nostalgic than just like watching a movie. So for that kind of factor, I probably say a 7. I probably watch these movies at least once a year.
Okay.
You gave it a 7, you said?
I say 7, yeah.
Wow. I have a question. Where does this rank? Are you comfortable with ranking, the Harry Potter series amongst themselves? And where does this rank?
Oh, well, okay. Are we talking about the books or the movies?
Movies.
Movies.
Because the books, 7 is 1 book, but 2 movies, right?
Yeah. I think...
Let's do the movies.
I think my favorite is definitely number 4.
Which one is that? Is that Goblet of Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That's good.
Got dragons, international wizards,
Batman.
lots of death, Batman.
Yep.
Great. This is actually probably one of my least favorite ones. It's still fine. It's still watchable.
Is it last?
It's not, I don't think it's last.
The first one's got to be last.
I want to say there's one, I don't know if it's Half-Blood Prince, but there's one that I'm just not into. One is just fun in terms of like getting to know the world and everything. And I love the start of friendships. And I'm like, you guys don't know how much you're going to love each other.
Oh, okay.
It just, they're like, I don't relate at all. But I get really like.
I just don't like the first one that much. Like I do think it's interesting that you have like a reason to like the first one. That's like.
Is that the sorting hat?
It is a sorting hat, yes.
And it can conjure objects. We've discussed this.
I think it only can conjure Godric Gryffindor's sword.
Yeah, I got the impression that it conjures stuff based on the fact that like there's some connection to the houses, right?
I think so, but yeah, we don't get a backstory of the sorting hat.
And no real
should be a whole other movie
of like. The only explanation we get is Dumbledore saying that, like, oh, you're a real Gryffindor because you got the real sword from the hat. But the hat is never like, hey, I can pop stuff out of my hat butt.
It's like, if you live or die, Harry, I'm still a hat. So
would you call that the butt of the hat or the mouth?
No, the mouth of the hat is on the front. We know where the mouth of the hat is.
That's definitely the butt. And you sit the hat's butt on your head. That's...
That got like very quick, very strong pushback on is that the mouth?
Yeah, no, because that hat's definitely got a separate mouth.
Yeah, it's true.
That hat does. I guess I was referring to like all hats.
No, we're talking about the sorting hat. Though.
But here's the thing, though. Normally, like in if you're just talking about in general, I would be open to the idea that a hat's opening is its mouth, except that now, because of the sorting hat, I realize
It's the
that
butt.
hat openings are always butts. Yeah. Which makes sense, because if you think of like a baseball cap, what is the bill? That's like the mouth. It's like for a duck, you know?
Yeah, I hear that.
And the other hole is the butt.
So if it's a snapback hat, does that mean the hole between the snapback and the rest of the hat? What is that? The vagina?
Oh no, I think then the hole at the bottom of the hat that you put your head in is the vagina, and the snapback part is the butt, and then the little snap strip is the taint.
That's the taint. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to remove myself from this narrative.
Sheila's like never wearing a hat ever
This
again.
got real.
No, we're just covering.
I was like, also, I don't know if maybe you are the butt. The hat's butt.
No,
you complete the hat.
Oh, like the person?
You're more like the butt plug.
I knew that was coming.
A long butt plug.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of wasted.
I was gonna say you're a
material
turd. You're just a giant dangler.
Yeah, it's just basic.
That
This is all
can't
just
quite
basic,
get pinched off.
Basic hat
If
anatomy.
I'm choosing the way I relate to my hat and it's either butt plug or turd,
I'll take a butt plug.
I think I
You
choose
would.
butt plug.
Yeah, very
I
much
think.
butt plug.
Not sure what to choose, but yeah.
But so basically, what we're all agreeing on is that the real prequel to this movie should have been Sorting Hat centered.
Yes.
Like this Fantastic Beast
absolutely.
bullshit. I don't know what this is, but you want me to care, make it about the Sorting Hat.
Yeah, is it some guy named Greg just trapped in the hat? I don't know.
The Fantastic Beasts series is really one. I mean, we'll cover it, I'm sure, one day. But like, they really fucked up with that.
You
franchise.
really think we're going to be doing this podcast till we're like 80, right?
Yep.
Because there is no way we're doing Fantastic Beasts in the next like 40 to 50 years.
One day, Harris. Yeah, they just botched that series though. Oh, but it's me. I'm the last person.
You're the last person.
All right, I'll keep it quick. I liked this movie better than the first one. This is actually the longest movie in the series.
Oh, thank God.
Is
That
baffling.
kind of makes sense, actually.
That's baffling to me. I felt like this one, I flew through it. It was like a breeze to sit through, whereas the first movie was like a slog. It really took forever to get to Hogwarts, and like it just ended like 9 times, and it was painful. But this one was less painful, and that's what makes it better. I like the mystery here. I like the end with the snake. Yeah, I mean, it's feeling more like the Harry Potter series that it becomes. Which obviously plays better for adults as it goes. The first one is just purely like a kid's movie. In my memory, I thought this one kind of was kiddie too, and I guess it has a little aspect, but it definitely gets dark. I watched this with my 4-year-old, and like I was feeling how dark it was as I was watching it with her. I'm like, she shouldn't be watching.
She's
this.
like, "What is death?"
Oh shit! As my chair just collapsed.
Oh no!
What? It literally just broke. All right. Yeah, so we're all going half scores. This is like a first time for all of us, I think. I'm going to give this a 6.5 Timothy Dolphins.
Totally negating me evening out Colin's half.
Well, I can't go 7.
God. Right.
He's not ridiculous. He's not Sheila.
Jeez. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's the end of the show. Shela Maung, thank you very much for coming out to do this. Do you have anything in the pipeline that you want to promote? That
Absolutely not.
Great. Do you have any social media stuff that people can follow you
If they want to.
on Instagram or Twitter? Anything
At
you want?
Mongoose.
Oh, how do you spell that?
MAUNGOO. Is it OO?
Yes.
That's how you
SE.
spell goose.
But I don't know how I spelled it. I don't know.
That's
it
your-
might be
that's-
OO or it might be 00.
Or maybe a U with an umlaut over it.
That's Instagram or Twitter
That's
or both?
Instagram.
Great. Great.
Umlaut.
Great.
Well, you were great. Thanks for coming in,
Yeah.
and we'd love to have you back again soon. Yeah. How should we close out this episode? Should we sing the Harry Potter theme? Let's Dumbledore, actually. Thank you once again for listening, and please remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you like listening to us talk about your favorite film franchises. Thank you to our guest, Shela Maung, and as always, thank you to Chris Morocco for banging out the You're a Wizard, Harry remix for this series. Subscribe to our Patreon for just $1 a month over at www.patreon.com/L2W. That's www.patreon.com/L2W. Help support the podcast by joining. You get instant access to over 50 bonus shows that feature us covering non-franchise classics such as David Lynch's Dune, Creed 1 and 2, Passenger 57, and so much more every single month. Again, that website to join is www.patreon.com/L2W. License to Watch is a part of the Fandom Limb Podcast Network, so please be sure to check out some of their other awesome shows. And be sure to tune in next time for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.